Hello, everybody. It's
Hi.
Fantasy Critic Day.
Hey.
Hi.
Let me actually make this window bigger until we're ready to start doing stuff. And I'll move it back later.
Yeah, make me bigger on their screen.
But happy 2025. First stream of the year. And we're excited. I know it's been busy with the holidays. I've been itching to stream. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I have been too. And there's been so many days where I'm playing Marvel Rivals, and I'm like, I should just stream this. And then I'm like, what effort could I put into this right now?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel Rivals. It's so fun.
Yeah. I was watching GDQ a good chunk of this week. That was my reason for not streaming. I was like, I want to stream, but I also really want to watch this run.
yeah. And they just look like they're having so much fun.
Oh my god, yes. I missed some of the really big ones yesterday, so I made my partner watch some of the runs with me this morning. We watched the Crazy
funny.
Taxi with a live band this morning, and that was nuts. That was so cool.
Mhm.
And then the Super Metroid map randomizer race was really, really cool. I mean, most of the
Billy,
runs
I have
this year
some
are awesome.
sound feedback.
What?
I'm being told that Sterling and I are very quiet, and you are very loud.
Cool.
No, I will yell.
You better.
That's okay. Two opposite reactions.
Okay, hopefully that helped. I can turn my mic down some. And hopefully
sure
that
I'll know.
helps.
Oh, sorry, there was clarification. Billy, not very loud, just clear. I apologize.
Okay. I will put
That's
myself
funny.
back where I was. And hopefully that helps. I've got everybody on the Discord call cranked.
I'm not cranking. What are you talking about?
All right.
We're back. Welcome to the year.
We're so back.
Round to the band
Oh.
Bill Murray. If anyone's ever heard of them.
So notably, we are not starting right away. We are waiting on Ian to join us, the reigning champion from last year.
True.
And so in the meantime, we're gonna chat a bit about the year, about last year, and all that. So last year, like I said, Ian was the reigning champion. If I look at the league history, that isn't the page I need.
Me.
I don't know if I can see last year's stuff anymore, actually.
I can.
Let me pull
Can you?
up.
Publisher
See,
details?
league history.
No.
No.
I can share my screen if we need to. Throw it up.
Might do that, but
Yeah, why don't you do that?
You got it.
Of course, Matt is our commissioner for the league, so he has been working on setting new rules for the year and getting everything ready for us.
yeah.
I should have a fancy title. That'd be cool.
I mean, commissioner's
Oh
good.
yeah. Commissioner is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. We should give
That
you
is
that.
good.
Called in fantasy football.
Yeah, we'll give you. We should give
Called
you a.
league manager here.
You could
That's
also
less
be
fun.
like you could be the Jeff Keighley.
Oh gosh.
Well, I guess real quick while Matt's pulling that up, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again a little later. But Fantasy Critic, the best way I have described it is it's fantasy football for people who like video games and reading reviews. We draft games that are set to release this year, or
There we go.
might get announced if we're feeling a little lucky. And then, watch stream. There we go. So we can
Got it.
follow this. But yeah, so we draft games. We have a budget to bid on games throughout the year. And then based on how well they are reviewed, we get points as a result. And then it goes from there. So it's a really, really cool thing. Matt and I have done this. This will be our third year. We did it 1 year before
Yeah.
up download.
You can see here that last year, between first and second was a very tight race.
It was a very
Between third
close
and fourth
race.
was a very tight race.
I don't want to talk about it.
And then
I'm so mad.
then there was everybody else,
Yeah.
including Jacob.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. I just
Well, you had 3 games released last year. Is what
Yeah,
I
happened.
think
yeah.
that might do it. That might have done it.
I last year, I don't remember what 2 games that Billy had that didn't come out. But I had
I can look.
what was it? It was
It-
Kingdom Hearts 4 and unannounced Mario mainline 3D platform.
Oh yeah, freaking
Yeah.
Rivals of Aether didn't get scored,
What?
Oh.
That's silly.
and then Mina the Hollower didn't come out. It got delayed to this year.
But you got Metaphor.
I did get Metaphor and Like Dragon. So yeah.
I was sad. I was sad because I picked what was it? Hades 2.
Oh
I
yeah.
went into beta.
Yeah.
But
So it
then there
doesn't
was
count.
a mess about it doesn't really count. The game's not out.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna like just ruin it for full release too, because like, is it like now we already know kind of what it's gonna get scored because so many outlets
Right.
reviewed it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rivals of Aether
And you can't
2
draft it again until it
4
is full
critic
release.
reviews on Metacritic.
Got what, Sterling?
It has, on Metacritic, it has 4 critic reviews, and one of them being Polygon that didn't actually give it a number.
I mean, yeah. For
Why
me,
is that?
that one was a kind of a Hail Mary. I was like, the streamers will bring this game up, and then it just didn't happen.
Was that the Ludwig published game?
Yes.
That so
Ludwig
kinda
and
crazy.
Pirate Software.
Yeah. But yeah, so it came down at the end to because of Billy and I's unreleased games, came down to Ian and Matt, and Ian barely inched it away with it. I think thanks to Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
It's because of Indiana Jones. I
Oh,
counterpicked that.
true.
That was a
Oh my
poor
goodness.
counterpick.
Bethesda released a good game, and it messed with
Yeah.
your points.
And
Who
so
could have
we'll
ever
see- we'll
guessed?
see
I
what
mean,
Matt
come on.
does with the Indiana Jones DLC slated for this year.
I
Also,
got frickin'
Rift-
17 points.
Yeah. Also, Rift of the Necrodancer didn't do anything this year. That's up for this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
It's coming out, I think,
But-
in March. Is what
Yeah.
they're
But you
saying.
killed it with the Astrobot pick.
Yeah,
Uh,
Astrobot was
did.
huge. Persona 3 Reload was good, but Astrobot. Also, the fact that your lowest score was Mario and Luigi is very funny to me.
I know.
And we look at
I had a
Ian's-
pretty good year. It was that one pick.
Man, Stellar Blade was last year?
Ian.
God.
Yeah, dude.
There they are.
Yeah, Indiana Jones,
Man.
Black Myth.
All of Ian's games came out.
Honestly, I
um,
can't believe Dawn Trail
Yeah.
did as well as it did.
Yeah.
I think Marvel Rival should be higher than a 76.
I agree. I just think people stopped reviewing it at some
Yeah.
point.
I'm also a Marvel fanboy, so there's that.
Yeah. I've been enjoying
also
it so
think
much
that-
more than Overwatch, but it's because like I can understand the characters so much easier.
I
because of-
actually, so confession, I love Marvel Rivals, but I have actually uninstalled the game because it was tilting me like Overwatch used to.
I have been getting mad at it.
Me too.
I still have fun with it.
I like had to like tell a friend. I was like, "Hey, this is making me extremely toxic. Going to
Oh my
stop
God, I
playing."
keep getting in the chat. I get in the chat and I go nuts, and I need to. I tried turning it off, but you can't turn off match chat. You can only turn off team chat.
Mm.
Let's see.
And if I could turn it all off, that's how I need to play.
Yeah.
from now
But-
on.
I think
Upside of playing on console.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that
no, it's on console too, though. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, but I don't type. I don't have
I've
time.
learned Xbox's voice to text.
Oh.
some of the criticisms that I heard about Marvel Rivals, despite it being a very fun game, is the like obvious like it's a bit derivative. Like it's unfortunately a copy of another game. Like, and I hate to say it, but like that does contribute a little bit.
It does.
Um,
As far as the reviews go, can
But I
definitely
mean,
see that.
every game in that genre is copying another game in that genre. It goes
True.
back to
I mean,
before Team Fortress 2, surely.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, when you're looking at critics who, I mean, it's one of the things that's interesting about like Fantasy Critic as a whole is that like even objectively good games can just get reviewed poorly. Or an objectively bad game might get just enough praise to earn you enough points, you know?
Right.
We
Dragon Age of the Veilguard.
I thought that
Looking
was
at
gonna be
this-
the
This
easiest.
list here
Yeah.
should have popped off.
Yes.
Yep.
So I picked the Mario 3D platformer during the draft because that was in January of last year.
And we all
were
thought it was
so
coming
much
this
hope.
year.
Group 2 was like, oh, it's coming in September, and I'm like, no way this thing launches without a 3D Mario game.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is still true in my mind. As
Yeah.
we come into this year.
and then like, I had a bunch of games just do like okay. The most infuriating being Microsoft's Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
part, but it was marred by launch failures.
Yeah.
Then of course Kingdom Hearts 4 was copium.
Hmm.
Neva, I really thought was gonna like. I thought it was gonna do like high.
I mean, in
90s,
87,
that art stuff.
like when you're looking at the games that actually
good
got a
score.
90, like 87's pretty good.
Oh, it's great. I just really thought it was gonna go nuts
Yeah.
because it's such a pretty game.
I
Yeah.
thought Another Crab's Treasure would have gotten a higher score.
That one kind of came
Yeah.
and went. I that one was interesting. It didn't
Yeah,
really
exactly.
stick.
It did kind of. So this is gonna be a weird comment, but it just felt like a Unity game. You know, like
Yeah.
it felt like they kind of used a lot of stock like tech elements, and it was visually great, and they put together a great Souls like, but I don't know, it just something didn't feel right.
Helldivers 2. I mean, we're lucky that maintained an 83.
Mhm.
Looks like most of the reviews came out before Sony shot themselves in the foot and then redeemed themselves somewhat.
Yeah, it did. And a lot of the reviews came out before it like blew up
Mhm.
too. And I'm sure that would have impacted it had it like been like an immediate success like day one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know, there were some good picks. They just weren't what I needed.
Honestly, the most disappointing on there for me was Princess Peach Showtime. Is just kind of
remember that.
how sad that game kind of ended up being.
It was not a very good game.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Billy's.
I had some decent ones that
Cool.
I was happy with the picks. There were some that got removed and then I added some as we went. So I did quite a bit of maneuvering through this.
Really good picks.
Yeah, Infinite Wealth
Mhm.
was pretty safe. I'm glad that one did well. I actually personally adored that game when it came out. Metaphor obviously did very well. I need to play that one still.
So good.
I'm
Love it.
personally sad about Mina the Hollower. I was just really looking forward to that game. Sandland was extremely disappointing.
I'm also finding it funny that you just didn't draft a 10th game.
I didn't have.
Yep.
Well, okay, so I dropped something.
You had $100. You had $91.
Yeah.
You could have bought something.
So here's the thing. By the time I realized I had a game free, because what I did was I think I dropped all the ones that didn't matter anymore, except for Mina. I don't think I had enough time to drop it. And so I didn't have enough games to fill it by the time like this ended. So that's a bummer. But yeah, Sandland was disappointing. Dragon Quest 3, I put that one on the first year we did this, and because I thought it was coming out. So I'm glad it actually came out, and it's awesome. Unicorn Overlord, Monkey Ball did well. I really wished I grabbed Rivals like right after it had come out, and then I grabbed Anton Blast right before it came out.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how many games like come out and they were not on our like I
On
don't
our
know,
radar.
our radar. Yes, it's kind of it's nuts.
Well, it's
Um,
a lot of it's like freaking Nintendo, and their directs, they'll be like, these indie games will be like, all right, yeah, we want to launch on your platform. And Nintendo's like, all right, but hold up. And then it's Nintendo going, oh, check this out. Check out this game. Doesn't that look cool? You can go download it right now.
We've been working on it for 8 years.
Yeah.
It's done.
Like, that was me with, like, Peglin. Like, Peglin's been out for a while in early access. But, like, Peglin came out on that Switch Direct, or that Nintendo Direct, and it was like, oh, by the way, the game's, like, fully done. Go get it on Switch right now. And I was like, what? Okay. And Anton Blast kind of got announced out of nowhere this summer. Now, granted, it had some time to cook before it came out, but, like, there's a lot of these games that, like, you watch a presentation, it's like, oh, it's out in 2 weeks. And it's usually Nintendo.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, like, kind of how saturated the market is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to keep up with everything. And then there's so many games that come out and then they're a big hit.
Yes.
Like the reason I'm so excited to do this is because I watch, like, Matt and I watch a lot of Kind of Funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they do this every year. And the big one last year was Balatro.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere, and somebody managed to get that before, right when it came out, and then it went nuts.
Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett Courtney.
Yep.
It was crazy. And so there's so many games like that, and like that sounds like what Billy tried to do with Rivals of Aether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which shockingly didn't get reviewed.
Right. Another one. God dang it! I was just about to look for it. Now I lost it. What was it? I was thinking about, like, Emio.
Oh yeah.
Like, Nintendo did this. Did it even get? I'm trying to look and see if we can see, like, what it got reviewed for last year. But, like, so Nintendo did that whole horror thing in the summer, and then, like, within a month of that first trailer, we had our hands on the game. Like, and I remember seeing, like, there was that whole, like, oh, what's Nintendo doing? Is it a horror game for October? And then it was a new Famicom Detective Club, which is cool. I have heard Emio, the Smiling Man, is very, very good. But, like, I mean, like, they just drop stuff. Honestly, if you're not remembering that you are in a fantasy league where you should be grabbing these games as soon as they get announced.
Yes.
Like.
Yes, hi, Jacob.
I'm the one who thought, oh yeah, I'm in that fantasy league. I don't really know how it works, but I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah. And they set it up really intelligently, where they only let you draft 5 games at the beginning of the year, and then you can go draft another 5 immediately if you want to.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't let you fill up your roster because of how many things release throughout the year, and that's why that's part of why I like doing it with Up Download is because, like, it's a way to help keep us engaged throughout the year.
Yes.
And remember, like, it's either you come to, like, participate with Up Download and then you remember, oh hey, I have this fun thing going on, or you're like, hey, I don't care about trying to win in this Fantasy Critic, and you're like, oh wait, Up Download's a thing. Let's choose something there.
Yeah, I really like. It's always fun. I love our little chat whenever a game comes out because we're all like, oh, how many points is it gonna get? And then you watch the score go up and down as reviews start piling in.
Yeah, a little Fantasy
It's very
Critic bot.
fun.
A genius
Yeah,
idea.
it's always like,
It's a good bot.
Yay!
Yeah. Or, like, you see a game get delayed and you're like, no! And then you get a notification in Discord, no!
Things again, yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's the recap of last year. Again, Ian pulled out the victory ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And now that all of us kind of have a better idea of what's happening this year, we are ready to come in this year stronger. We have culled the non-participants minus Jacob from and we've added a couple new faces.
Yeah.
So throughout the year, Dusty Daddy joined us here with Up Download. He's not with us today. but he will be participating. He is auto drafting, and one of Matt's friends is also participating. so I
David.
can have an extra publisher in the mix, make things a little more interesting.
Yeah.
He will also officially be auto drafting, by the way.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah. And so we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at 7 publishers. We're waiting on Ian before we get started. And yeah, so well, we're gonna have a fun year coming up. A lot of fun things about to come out. We're not going to talk about them too much until
Yeah.
they're probably already drafted. But I don't know. We could talk about like what are some hopes and dreams this year with like up download or like
Yeah.
just kind of broad gaming hopes and dreams and stuff like that.
Realistically, I just want to start right away with I am excited to have a content team. You know, we do mostly streams right now, and I'm hoping we can expand as we continue. You know, get back into writing articles and hopefully start
I'm hoping to
contributing.
do more published, like produced video content.
Yeah, that too. And it's really exciting because I know we said it last year, but I mean, this year is the year of the Switch 2. I don't think there's any denying that at this point. Nintendo is doing their best to cull all the leaks, and
It's very credible leaks.
it's even hard to call them leaks at this point. It is just a full on. It's out there, you know.
Yeah.
So like, it's really cool to be in a position now as a team where we can be like, let's talk about this new console. Let's get hyped for all the new games that are set to come out. Let's see what this console can do. I think of the big 3 console people. Obviously, I'm a Nintendo guy, so I'm very excited to see what Nintendo's got for us this year. Because they have to be sitting on so many things. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't hold Tears of the Kingdom until the next console. We haven't had a 3D Mario since Odyssey, unless you count Bowser's Fury, which I do to an extent, but it's not a full 3D Mario. We're set for a new Mario Kart. Because, guys, Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U. That game is like 12 years old.
I'm so tired of Mario Kart 8.
I
hate how it
I
feels.
disagree. I love that game.
Here's the
so
thing.
much.
I think they did. I think the booster pass was a great idea because I think the mechanics of Mario Kart 8 are so solid. The install base of Mario Kart 8 is so huge that was absolutely the right call to make at the time. Because you paid half price for basically a new game of tracks on a game that's very mechanically sound. I am stoked, though, to see what they're cooking for Mario Kart 9 on new hardware.
Yes.
So, you know, we're set for that. I imagine they've been sitting on a bunch of stuff for Animal Crossing. I think
I agree.
New Horizons was great, but I think the way it came out caused people to play it incorrectly, like to how Animal Crossing is supposed to be played. And we all chowed through the content too fast for them to really warrant continuous updates.
Yes.
So I think the cancellation of Pocket Camp and kind of how New Horizons came about, we're probably due for a new Animal Crossing at the beginning of this year. Maybe not this year, but probably at least next year. Probably next spring.
And they just kind of recognize it's like it's been long enough
Yeah.
since the last content that it's like Animal Crossing's not the most complex game in the world.
No.
Don't get me
Disagree.
wrong, it's not complex. But
Only if
gonna
you're into
say,
the turnip
Remember
stock
when
market.
you-
Exactly. Well, even that is just such a randomized field within
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of numbers. But that like I could see a new entry in the Animal Crossing franchise coming out this year, and like they know what they have now.
Yeah.
Think about all the people that would like here. Like, there's so many people that got a Switch just for Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
like the amount of people that's like, oh my goodness, remember back in 2020 when we all played that game? There's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
We need to go get it. And there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I've moved on, but there's enough people that have like will remember the good times.
Well,
and want to go back to it.
And the people that like Animal Crossing as a whole, I mean, something to remember, is that for Japan, like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was massive. It was a huge moneymaker for Nintendo. And so like it just makes sense to have another one. Even if it only does well in Japan. And I think so long as they can get there, honestly, Nintendo's done a really nice job like reworking a lot of their internal like internet connectivity stuff. I think they are realizing finally that online is a big deal and that people on Nintendo consoles.
Guys, it's here to stay.
What's that?
It's not just a fad, like they
Yes.
probably originally thought.
Yeah,
Well, Nintendo was the first thing I ever connected to. Jacob, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you.
yeah, I can
You're
now.
very quiet.
I just said that the internet is going to blow over in a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So the Wii, I think it was
Mhm.
maybe the first thing that I connected to the internet with. I had a little USB drive that turned your desktop computer into a Wi-Fi hotspot,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing I ever did online play
Yeah.
on. And so like
Simpler
they
times.
were kind of at the forefront of internet for a tiny bit,
They
and then
they were, but then I think, but you look at that and there's like, now there's a bunch of people like hacking their Wiis to play online Mario Kart still.
yeah,
But like I would say that probably allegedly. But probably at the time, they were probably looking at their usage statistics and going, there's just not enough people using this to warrant making it a full focus outside of the games we really want it to. Like I never had any issue playing Splatoon online. Like the worst I ever had was Smash Bros. And then there actually kind of came a point on the Switch where I actually felt like I could play Smash Bros. Online fairly well. So I do think they are understanding now that they do have a place in the online market. And I'm hoping a lot of the internal stuff in the next console allows them to sit there. They don't have to like innovate, do something weird. They just have to make their games playable online. Because like Animal Crossing Online was always a chore. We all did it because what else were we
that's
gonna
what I was
do?
about to say was like it was such a hassle waiting like 2 minutes to get to a new island.
Yes.
It
Well,
was so stupid.
not only that, if you were the host island of a group of friends and you had to stop what you were doing every time somebody came in for like a minute,
To watch them flying on the plane.
yes, and then God forbid you want everybody to leave without just kicking them all out at once by shutting your Switch off. Like it was pretty terrible, and I think Nintendo knows that. And they're, I think making a Switch 2, a better version of original existing hardware, is the best course of action for them, so they can improve everything else.
This guy has gone untouched for quite some time because it's got a dead battery. It won't even power on if I plug it in.
That'll do it.
And I could go buy a new battery from iFixit and replace the battery. I'm comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
It's just expensive enough.
Yeah.
It's like $50 maybe.
Right.
Just expensive enough where I'm like, I should just put that money towards a Switch too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and they've already confirmed that everything. Yeah. And they've already confirmed that everything that was playable on the first console will carry over to the second console. So I mean,
I hope my save data from Thousand Year Door is stored somewhere. I don't know where
Yeah.
it is.
but I don't know. It's just exciting. I like that. I honestly like. I like that the Switch has lived as long as it has. I'm not somebody who necessarily needs new hardware every 4 years or whatever. I think it's crazy that Nintendo still puts out crazy good looking games on the Switch 8 years after launch.
Yeah.
Like despite some issues at certain spots, Tears of the Kingdom still looks gorgeous. Like it's a great looking game. I'm playing Sonic Frontiers on it right now because I'm in a big Sonic kick right now. Despite some blurriness because it's an open world Sonic game on the Switch. It runs pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with
About
that.
the rumor that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be a launch title on the Switch too.
I think
I
that
saw
would
that as
be.
well.
I think that would be massive. I was
That'd be
listening.
huge.
I was listening to Nintendo Life, and they were speculating and just talking about this year. And one of the things that I thought was really funny is, the rumor has been for a while that the next hardware is about as powerful as a PS4 or a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And like we're still getting games on PS4 and PS4 Pro. And so they were talking about like, if you had like the typical Switch ad where, you've got people like at home playing and then you've got somebody sitting on a train. Like imagine, and I'm directly stealing this from Alex of Nintendo Life. But he said, just imagine if there was like a half-second shot where somebody is on the train playing The Witcher 4. Game's not out. It's not going to be out for a while, but just imagine if like launch, like they do the shadow reveal of the console finally, and there's just a quick brief of somebody playing Witcher 4 on the next console.
Imagine Doshin the Giant on your Switch too.
Just for Alex.
Exactly.
But
In fact,
Go ahead.
Side note, I'm sorry, just because Witcher mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm playing The Witcher 3 right now for the first time.
Yeah.
Good game. I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody knew that.
I've heard it's great.
May have won a few awards.
I have not
I don't
played
know
that
if
yet.
I'll ever touch it, but I believe it.
I have heard
Real good.
that the Switch port of that game is unbelievable magic. That there's no way
Yeah.
that game should have ever been on that console, and there it is.
I own it. I'm not playing it on that. I'm playing it on Xbox.
Yeah.
But I have played a little bit of it on the Switch, and it is absolutely insane that the game runs on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, tech directors and tech I forget the word, but like people who like that's their job is making things run better on older hardware. Like those people
Mhm.
are magicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because like we could have so many better things running on the hardware we have today,
Mhm.
but like people have just kind of stopped caring because of how much like some examples of like new like Microsoft apps and stuff are just so slow and take forever to run.
Yeah.
But like you go and run like classic Word on like a Windows 98 machine, that thing just pops right open.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just get to work. And it's like we're just so inefficient these days.
Yeah. I'm really excited. The thing about coming back to Nintendo with that, I forget what the studio is they bought, but they're like wizards when it comes to porting non-Switch games to Switch. And that was a studio that had
I
been,
forgot their name too.
yeah, I wish I could remember, but they partnered. They were basically like exclusively partnered with Nintendo anyway.
They just got bought, right?
Yeah, it was this summer, I think, or a few months ago. I don't know why Level 5 is popping in my head. That's not who it is. But basically, they're a studio that just does all kinds of crazy good ports to the Switch, and Nintendo finally was like, all right, let's just get these guys under our wing, give them our funding and our people, and that's exciting to me because that probably means that that's like gonna be their thing, is getting other games onto their hardware better. There was another studio
That's
they
great.
just bought too. I don't think it was. I can't remember who it was. But that Nintendo's kind of been buying studios they've been partnered with, just to kind of officially put them under their umbrella.
That sounds familiar.
I very professionally just got hungry. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of ice cream and
Okay.
come back and keep talking.
Sweet.
Very professionally, I am
Sounds good.
also super hungry. And I'm not going to do anything about it. So I want it to be known on record that I am stronger
Jacob's better
True.
than me.
Yeah.
than Sterling. Yes, I am better than Sterling in every way imaginable, except for being able to rank the movies. Sorry, not movies. The video games in 2024. Sterling got.
Or like put them on your roster at all.
Well, again, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So
It happens to the best of us. The other thing I'm stoked for, back to it, is so the next console supposedly, again, because we actually know nothing. Like, we think we know a lot, and we probably do, but until it's kind of like Schrodinger's information. We are both correct and not until it is revealed. But it looks like Nintendo, because Nintendo partners with Nvidia, it looks like we'll be getting some sort of DLSS upscaling possibilities.
yeah.
Um, which is very exciting for our old Switch games. Um, Breath of the Wild upscaled to potentially 4K, or 2K
I'd
or
cry.
whatever. But
Unbelievable.
it would still run as a 1080 30 FPS game, but it would be up-resed to look like that, which would be cool because one, a lot of the speedrun glitches would still work because it's still in 30 frames per second. But it would be upscaled to what you would think. Or the possibility of like not upscale, but like up textured versions. Where you could pay like $10 and get like the Switch 2 version of a game you already own. Um,
Um,
I don't want
want-
that. I just want it to be upgraded.
I think there's a case for it depending on the game. Like, I don't do I think like Mario Odyssey needs a $10 upcharge for a Switch 2 version of it? No, I think DLSS will handle everything you would want from it. But I do think Breath of the Wild could benefit from a version dedicated to the new hardware so that you could go to Kokiri Forest without lagging and playing at 10 FPS.
I mean, don't get me
God.
wrong. I'm going to pay for it, but I'm just going to complain about it the whole time.
Fair. I think some of the issues
I-
come more from it's going to be more than just putting it on a better console, I think.
I would like
What kind of ice cream we got?
racing.
I got
in,
a vanilla
my Zelda
mochi
game.
ball.
Okay. Jacob, what
Yeah.
did you say?
I
We
have.
were talking about ice cream.
Sorry, I said I would like ray tracing in my Zelda games.
I mean, it would be sick.
It'd be awesome.
Matt,
Even those
what ice
reflections
cream
off
do
the
you have?
shield.
I care more about that.
I actually have Nerds gummy clusters. They're the special
Oh,
edition
dude.
grape and strawberry ones.
No. In the Candy Critic draft of 2024, that would have fucking gone away with it, you know?
They are
Nerds
the
gummy
best.
clusters
I'm
are so
addicted.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it to be known that I'm feeling a little less strong than Sterling now. I'm getting hungrier by the second. Um,
I believe in
and
you.
despite that, I am still stronger
Sure.
than Sterling.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Matt.
As we as we continue vaping, so we've talked a lot about Nintendo. How do you guys feel about the other two right now? Sony and Microsoft, I would say, are in a pretty weird spot as an outsider. I kind of follow them on the sidelines. I have Game Pass. I still think Game Pass is great.
Yeah.
But that's about all I got to say about Microsoft right now. I'm just kind of curious about your guys' thoughts, especially those of you that I know are PlayStation
I have a lot of
people.
thoughts on Microsoft. One thing, I also still have Game Pass. No matter how unemployed I get, I will be amazed if I ever cancel Game Pass.
Yeah.
Game Pass, YouTube Premium, Dropout.
Mhm.
Those are the 3 subscriptions that I'm gonna always have.
That's a good top 3.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
YouTube Premium, like I'm always watching YouTube.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So like,
Yep.
I'm giving a lot of people good money. But Microsoft just had its big marketing push of this is an Xbox.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
to the
yeah.
point where I really want this is not an Xbox t-shirt. like that marketing push is genius. I
Mhm.
love that. And so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of games coming out of exclusivity on the Xbox this year. I think we're going to be seeing Halo on a PlayStation by the end of this year.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
I completely agree. That is bananas.
So I have a question for
Alright.
you.
Is it out of the realm of possibility?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
But
I think it's.
I would love
I
to
don't
eat.
know.
I'd love to eat crow and say that would happen because that would be fascinating. But I think that I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like some of this like releasing from exclusivity thing is I don't know. It feels not disingenuous because it's clearly happening. There's a lot of
Mhm.
things that are kind of becoming cross compatible and lots of crossplay is happening nowadays, and you can play all sorts of stuff on everything. But
Right.
I don't know. Part of me feels like Halo is just like in their grip forever.
here's
I don't know.
my thought. I I mean, if you have a PC, why would you buy an Xbox?
Yeah.
And Xboxes are
I
getting
agree.
more expensive. Like home consoles are getting more and more expensive to the point where you can, for a lot of people, you could just wait a little bit longer, save a little bit more money, and buy a halfway decent PC that will play a lot of the games you want to play. Now, I will say there will always be a market for home console. There are people who don't want to go through the effort. There are people who don't understand PCs. And I totally get that those consoles are there for them. And I'm not trying to say that consoles are worthless because they're not. I really like consoles. But for Xbox, for them, I do wonder where they see their bottom line is, and I think it's in the games they publish, less so than hardware. As from an outsider who hasn't owned an Xbox since the Xbox 360, I could be way off base there, but a lot of times I look at the two consoles and I go back and forth. And I'm like, well, if I were gonna get one, I would get the PlayStation. Because I mean, I own a PC. I am one of those people who owns a PC with Game Pass on it. I can play everything I want from Xbox on my PC. And honestly, same thing. Same reason I don't own a PlayStation. I'm willing to wait a year to play a PlayStation game if I really want to.
Yeah.
If I want to,
Do
if I want to
you
play
guys
Final
feel
Fantasy
like-
VII, I'll wait.
Right. Go ahead, Jacob.
Do you guys feel like PlayStation and Sony is going to come out with their own kind of like competitive version of Microsoft's like Game Pass on PC? I feel like I don't know. Sony has been really guarded with that kind of thing. Um, and I know that they've had like kind of a like a Game Pass slight kind of competitor thing in the past, but it's not nearly as prolific or even recognizable. Um,
It's not going to be on PC, I don't think. Like,
yeah, I think
it
you're
took them
right.
forever just to have the subscription model in general. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like getting that on PC is too far of a jump for them.
What I think is interesting to me is Sony versus Microsoft is really interesting to me. Nintendo's in their own freaking world, and they always will be. They're still a competitor, but Nintendo's just going to do what they want to do. So it's really Sony and Microsoft that you kind of look at. And what I find interesting is Xbox is at the forefront of getting you brand new games with your fancy subscription module. Like, I have Game Pass. I could have played Indiana Jones day one for paying for Game Pass monthly. And whatever other games get put on there. I played Persona 3 Reload through Game Pass, which is awesome. Sony's whole thing as an outsider has always been they have such a better they love to sell all their legacy stuff. They have a ton of legacy stuff and they keep that crap around. Now, it took some bullying when they were going to shut down the PS3 store. But Sony's whole thing seems to be purchasing those old games and keeping their legacy stuff alive, while also getting you cutting edge first party games. And so you've kind of got this interesting back and forth kind of going.
It's interesting that that's become more of PlayStation's model because despite the fact that you're right, Nintendo really is in its own little world. that is like traditionally what they do,
Mhm.
is that they take their like legacy properties, their legacy IP, and that is what everything is built on. That's why we get a Mario game every 2 years, guaranteed almost. Um, so it's like it's interesting that PlayStation has kind of adopted a similar model whilst also investing so heavily in like the more competitive and modern high tech console. Nintendo doesn't feel the need to be competitive
No.
in their technological sphere. They feel pretty confident releasing, the a device that you could call comparable to a PlayStation 4 in 2025.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's okay with them.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's fascinating.
Yeah.
What I swear to God, I think I don't know if you guys noticed this year. Maybe it was just me, maybe I was just following the wrong kind of, I don't know, the wrong accounts online, but did PlayStation get like a ton of flack this year for
Yes.
like not having games?
Oh, yes, they
Yep.
did.
Yeah, there was a big meme about like, yeah, I got a PS5, but I don't have any games or something. I don't remember like
It's
what
because
the
there's no
rules
like
were.
there's like a handful of specifically PS5 games. There are not that many PS5 games in the span that
This is
it's
true.
been out. Like, if you own a PS4, you can play a majority of the library that is accessible on the PS5. And I think that's where the meme came about. Which to again to kind of bring it back around, that's why Nintendo can release a console that will be PS4 quality if that's what it's going to be in 2025, because it will handle, because of the way we're kind of pushing, we're kind of at the next ceiling, right, of graphical fidelity and performance, blah blah blah, tech terms, blah blah blah, and until that ceiling is pushed, that gap is going to be very very small from breakthrough to breakthrough. Um, and so the PS5 install base is not that high, I assume, if they're still putting everything on PS4, because their PS4 install base is still pretty high. So you put it on both. The PS5 gets the performance and the quality, but you can run the games in performance mode on your PS4. So that's kind of, from my perspective, where the meme has come about, is that, unless you're playing Demon Souls, Astrobot, I don't know any others. Maybe no, Spider-Man's on both.
Spider-Man 2.
I have a list.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Astrobot, Astro's Playroom, Demon Souls, Destruction All Stars. Who played that? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2, Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, Silent Hill: The Short Message.
And those are the ones that are not on PC. Some of them have been
Correct.
announced for PC.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's also the thing of like, do you just want to like turn on a console and just know it's gonna work? And
That
then you
too.
just have,
Yeah.
like, I also want to note that I looked up. I lost the message, but the Xbox Series X equivalent graphics card for a computer is the Radeon 8700 XT.
Mhm.
That if you go look for pre-builds, some of the cheapest pre-builds with that kind of graphics card you're going to see are going to be like no less than like $1,300 to $1,500,
Hmm.
whereas the Series
Wow.
X is $500 or $600. And so getting a console will always be cheaper than a PC.
Yeah.
There's just so many elements, even pre-built or building yourself. And then there's just like loyalty.
Yes. Yeah.
If you like Xbox, if you like PlayStation, I have always had every console. And I hurt so bad I just sold my PS5
Mhm.
because I've been unemployed for months. Um, and it sucks, but there are a lot of games I can get again on PC if I really have to.
Yeah.
But I am such a big PlayStation fanboy that I don't like that I don't have my PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
And I kept my controller. I kept my purple controller so that when I get a new PS5, it'll feel like the same. Um, uh, uh, and yeah, just speaking to that, where it's like, just loyalty is a big
Yeah.
thing. Um, but that's gonna make this year really interesting. Like you said, that we still haven't had like a big leap in the tech. And
I mean, it's coming. I want to be clear that ceiling will be broken eventually. We are just
Yeah.
at a point now where, like, if graphical fidelity is your big selling point, it's not gonna get that much better very quickly.
exactly.
You know?
Well, that's something that I was thinking about a lot when the PlayStation 5 Pro dropped this year
Yeah.
with that insane price tag. What is it, like $700?
Yeah.
Fucking something
That sounds
bananas.
right.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, and it became a big meme, another PlayStation meme, where you would put the two consoles next to each other, the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro, and you would have people guess, like, okay, this is like Cyberpunk 2077 running on both consoles.
Mhm.
Which console is which? And you can't really tell.
Yeah.
I think that really kind of pushes the exact point that you're making, Billy, which is that I think that the graphical fidelity that we have at this point, we're we're hitting a certain ceiling.
Yeah.
I think you're right. At some point, we will break that, but it's not now.
Yeah.
And no hate to anybody who out there wants to buy the PlayStation 5 Pro, because
Well, yeah.
I mean, if that's important to you, that's great. That's wonderful. I mean, personally, I have an Xbox One that it's really interesting to think about, because I'm having almost the exact opposite problem personally, where, like, I'm at that turn of the console generation where I am starting to actually feel like my hardware is out of date.
Yeah.
Because we did have that, like, kind of grace period that we always kind of have
Mhm.
between generations, where they're releasing games on both, like, the old gen and the new gen. For example, Sterling knows this because I've complained about it a bunch. I can't play Marvel Rivals on my Xbox One.
Mm.
You can't download it.
I see. Oh, yeah.
And so it's really interesting that, like, we're really spread out as far as, like, what machines everybody's playing. Like, obviously there are people who are still playing on the PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
In fact, there are games that are still released for the PlayStation 2 yearly.
Yeah. There's a game coming out for the Sega Dreamcast sometime this year, I think.
What?
There was something new about
So,
that.
like,
Yeah. It's a cool thing.
it's fascinating, but also, like, it's interesting. I think that also ties into how expensive, like, gaming overall has become.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, the consoles, while you're right, Sterling, like, if you want to get a pre-built with the same graphics card as the Xbox Series X, you're gonna spend $1,300. But $500 for the Xbox Series X is still $500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like,
Well, and
I
that's.
mean, I don't want to get too.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, first off, I want to say hi to our lovely chat who are talking to us about PS4 games, and the whole, also kind of talking about graphics hitting their limit. But like, so like, here's what's interesting. Here's the most interesting part about the new Switch hardware for me, right? The Switch has always been, even at launch, was the most accessible console of the three. And again, Switches aren't that expensive. Is what, an OLED is $400, $450,
Yeah.
and it typically usually comes with a game and your Joy-Cons, so you don't have to buy a controller unless you want one. And the games are physical, by nature. So, put all that into perspective. Switch 2, you're looking at the hardware specs, and it does make me wonder how much Nintendo thinks they'll be able to charge at that price point. Will they still be able to be the cheapest console on the market? I imagine the answer is yes, but I wonder to what extent. Talking about games being expensive, 'cause that's one of the things I've always loved about the Switch. Um, is as far as like gaming consoles go, it is I mean, the difference of $100, or 50 or whatever. Um, we never really saw a price dip. We saw it on sale once, I think this year. As they try to push the units sold to beat the PS2, but it does make me wonder what they'll price this next console at.
Yeah. Regarding the draft,
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with getting started soon if you guys are, because I'm not sure.
Do we have an ETA on, Ian?
No. I mean, Manhattan's 2 hours, and they sent that message 2.5 hours ago. So
I mean, I'm good if they don't have an auto draft set up. It looks like.
yeah,
I can
think
turn it
Matt can
on.
force it on,
Okay.
and it'll take like the highest like hype factor.
Okay.
Are
But we can
they-
talk about our
Which
picks as
isn't
we
fun.
go and give some extra time.
Are they able to?
Unless I go first.
What's that, Jacob?
Sorry, I was just gonna ask real quick. Are they able to, if Ian comes back, are they able to like take over if auto draft is in place?
Yes.
Cool.
So my buddy Luke is asking, I missed the beginning, what's the fantasy draft for? So we'll vamp a little bit again and give them a little more time. So fantasy draft, Fantasy Critic, is like fantasy football for video game nerds who like reading reviews. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be put in a draft list order. Which Matt, are you going to just stream the whole thing from your perspective? Or are you going to cancel this out once we're going?
I can do whatever we think is best.
Doesn't
I
matter
can
to me.
definitely stream it.
It just tells me whether
Okay.
or not I need to move things or not. We can go with that here in a
Probably
minute.
look better from Billy's perspective.
Maybe.
It
Well,
might,
it's
'cause
all
I'll
in
be
it's all in
doing
one
all of
Discord
Willow's
window
stuff.
right now.
Okay.
It depends.
Yeah,
It's fine
yeah.
either way. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is once Matt hits start, it's gonna put us all into a different order, and we get to draft 5 video games at the start. And we get points
Yes.
based on how well they are reviewed when they release. And so we have some of us prepared lists, or we're just gonna kind of wing it, whatever. And we're going to publish or draft video games to see who can earn the most points at the end of the season. Again, think like fantasy football. You draft a player, you get points based on how well they do. It's the same thing here, except we're drafting video games, and we're at the whims of reviewers.
Yeah.
So
And
One
I
thing
am
we could
hoping I
do to
don't
kill
make
time as
this
well,
mistake.
we could kind of go over the rules and make sure that everyone's cool with what I have set up.
Yes,
sure, yeah.
let's do that.
Oh,
Do
okay.
that. Okay, let's see here. Let's go
Also,
to.
I assume you guys just saw that notification from Ian.
No.
I did not see it.
Okay, be there in
Oh,
5.
Park be there in 5. Great.
Sweet. All right.
Sorry.
Nope,
That's
it's
it.
good.
Thanks for letting us know. All right, can you guys all see the league settings?
Yup.
Okay, so as of right now, we've got 10 total games, drafting 5 tonight. Total counter picks is 1 that will also be drafting tonight. Does that all sound good?
Works for me.
Sick.
So,
Next is bidding stuff. Excuse me. Minimum bid is $1.
Mhm.
So you have to bid something. We have secret bidding as opposed to public bidding, so we won't know who bid it on the game at all, if anyone did, until it goes through on Saturday.
I like that. So basically, for the
Cool.
viewers at home, basically what that means is, let's say Nintendo Shadow drops Golden Sun 1 and 2 remakes HD 2D, and then like, by the way, this is releasing in 2 months. So then we can choose to we have $100 for the year, So I could choose to bid $100, all of my money on that to ensure that I get it, but no one would know that I bid or that I bid $100 on that game. So that if Sterling wanted to spend $99 on it, he wouldn't know that I did that until Saturday when it comes through.
Right. And only the person that bids the most spends the money.
Mhm.
So you don't lose money for bidding. Just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
We didn't do any trading last year, but there is a trading system if anyone wants to try and trade.
I offered to trade to Sam, and he never got back to me.
Right, and I remember I saw it sitting there forever, and I couldn't do anything
And then
about
the
it
game
because it
came
was
out,
just
and it was still sitting there.
Yeah.
What are the other options for trading? Out of curiosity.
no trades.
That's
Insane.
standard or no?
Got it. Okay. Because I was kind of mad that the bot like made a notification that it was like a trade has been proposed, and I'm like, no, don't tell everybody.
Right, that is kind of silly. You would think trades would be secret if bidding is. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't mind
All right.
because
So,
like, yeah, it would be fine to like show the trade happened and then like have an option to veto it.
yeah,
I mean, that's how fantasy football
yeah,
works.
as the commissioner,
Trade has been denied.
Jeff
gets
Keighley of the
final
league.
say.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with it.
I like it.
Game dropping
All
settings.
right.
Have these changed at all?
Yeah. So this is the. I don't think so. So as of right now, we get one drop of a game that will release. So if you have a game that you draft or bid on that will be coming out, like let's say, you draft like Monster Hunter and you want to drop it for some reason, you can do that one time for free. For a game that is
I think
coming
will
out.
is a bad word here. It's more like might release.
Yes, if it's not officially announced as canceled or not happening, then you're stuck with it.
Exactly.
Or if it doesn't say like 2026.
Yeah.
If it just says there's no release date.
Yeah.
It counts as like it could come out in 2025. They could shadow drop it, so it counts
Yeah.
as they will release.
Right.
That happened to me with Mina the Hollower. They were just like, yeah, it's not happening. And then it was like, well, when is it?
Happened to me with Mario and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
It happened to me with Necro Dancer.
Yes. So if you're picking a game.
So and then there will not. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just bantering.
So then the next section is will not release. So that is a game that a publisher has said we will not be releasing this in 2025. We get a limited number of drops for those. So if it officially says it is not coming out, then you will always be able to drop it. And then right now we have 0 for any unreleased. So if we wanted to, we could give us like 1 of any unreleased. So anything that is or is not announced for coming out in 2025.
So that would be something like
for 2 total drops.
What was that, Sterling?
For 2 total drops, essentially.
For 2 total drops, right? 1 that will definitely come out, and 1 that will or will not come out.
Gotcha.
What do we think?
With 10 titles, it's hard. Because on one hand, I would love to throw caution to the wind, but on the other hand, it's like you have to be very intentional about the choices you're making.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but that's also why we're only drafting 5, and then you can bid the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think leaving it at 1 is good.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I want super drops.
No.
I think those are too strong.
Yeah.
They're nuts. Yes.
Yeah.
Be like,
I do like
pick lost me 20 points. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not know anything about that. That's never happened to me before. Speaking of, I do think we should keep counter picks block drops.
Yes.
I think that's fun.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Absolutely.
And then next section, eligibility settings. So the way it works is Fantasy Critic puts a tag on every game that tells you what type of game it is. These are all the tags. As of right now, banned tags are currently in early access. So that'd be like Hades 2. We cannot bid on it unless it leaves early access. A director's cut, a port, something that's released internationally but not in the US, or a remaster. Those are all banned.
Yep.
Works
Sound
for me.
good?
I'm gonna mention it again because I really wanted to throw hands with Fantasy Critic for not letting me pick up Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance.
I don't think
Yeah,
you
that's
were the
kind of
only
strange.
one.
I was
You should
ready.
have said something because I could have fixed that. We
Oh.
could have allowed it.
It's fine. I just wanted to put that on record that I'm pissed about it.
Kind of funny. Had the same gripe.
Yeah, because there was
It's
another
on record.
Got it.
there was
Yep.
another game that had like come out that was just the game, but then had some side content, but it wouldn't let or like you
Mhm.
pick DLC like episode I guess, but then
Yeah.
Vengeance had a whole second campaign that was just as long as the first, but I couldn't pick it up. It was only because it was the only time I really thought about Fantasy Critic at the time, and I was sad I couldn't like snag that one. Anyway, I'm good with
Yeah.
these.
Speaking of, the Xenoblade Chronicles X is eligible. Just so we are clear on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, allowed tags are all the ones on the right. There's a billion, so I'm not going to read them all.
Mhm. Yeah,
One of the big ones is expansion pack.
Yeah.
So like last year, I got Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Mhm.
There's some
Right.
expansions this year that are prevalent.
Man, when's the last time you heard
And
the
again-
phrase expansion pack?
True.
Don't know. That's a good point. But if there's anything that we want to maybe bid on later on, that is a banned tag, but you think it should not be in a banned tag, just let me know, and I can individually allow games in, even though the website says we can't have it in our league.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do that as long as we're all in agreement that that specific game is okay to have.
Works for me.
I don't know what special game slots are,
It's fine.
so I didn't do it.
Works for me.
But I think
Oh,
it's that
Wire
like
certain tags. That's interesting. So it's like
yes,
you
like
have
everyone
to
has to have a game from a new franchise, or everyone has to have
That's
something that's a
funny.
yearly installment. I don't want to do that.
No,
But it
that's
seems
too
kind of
complex.
Yeah,
interesting.
too much for us, but I do like it. It's funny.
Speaking
Cool.
of yearly installment is an allowed tag. It was
Yeah,
by default turned off, but I thought
that's
we
surprising.
should keep it. Yeah.
Because like, I mean, the same people are going to review those games every year, but it's like they can get tired of it.
Yeah. And sometimes they just get worse. Like I think it was this year that for some reason FIFA got like randomly worse.
Yeah. Football Manager kept getting delayed, so who knows how that'll do. It's
Yeah.
not a yearly
Right.
release, but like Microsoft Flight Simulator tanked.
Right. So, yeah, that works for me.
Okay, then I will confirm.
Sick.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Great.
So then
it's
once
been 5
Ian
minutes.
gets here, we'll go ahead and start.
Things on record. Billy is mad about Shin Megami Tensei and Jacob is hungry but also strong. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for the recap. It's very true.
And I have Nerds Gummy Clusters. That's important.
And
too.
I'm not hungry anymore, and I am weak. I have they're not goldfish. They are baked turtles.
I've seen whales. I've never seen turtles.
Very good. I wish I had Nerds Gummy Clusters, but my car is still snowed in, and I haven't dug it out because that lets me get to Taco Bell too easily. And I've never
That
Eh.
makes sense.
I've
Yeah.
never cooked for myself so many days in a row in a long time. And so I'm like trying to keep up the streak.
I love to
No,
cook. I cook
just
most
went
nights.
away
Same.
on
What?
stream.
It's because I brought things down. I was trying to look at. There it is. was trying to look for the chat because I saw it a notification.
So why don't we go ahead and launch it, and then when it gets to Ian's turn, we could just hang out.
That works.
Sounds good to me. Watch Ian go first.
Yeah.
I'm scared. If I go first, I'm really scared because I have like 3 things that I could pick first, and I don't know what I would want to.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Absolutely. I just realized, Billy, I probably should not have this streaming because I have a secret watch list I don't want
Oh,
anyone
okay.
to see
That's fine.
That's true.
because it's secret.
Okay.
Um,
So
oh,
Just so you know.
Billy probably does too.
no, I don't. It's all on my phone.
Oh, okay, great.
I was gonna say when he mentioned we're just gonna wing it, I was like, oh, so Billy's the one winging.
No. I have ideas. I just I'm not as put together as the rest of you.
For the first, there are very few things I'm actually organized about. This is one of them.
Yeah, I have. I was actually looking because I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know. I was trying to go through the games that I was like, okay, this is releasing this year, right? Like,
At this rate, who knows?
what has been announced? Because I'm so Nintendo pilled. There are certainly games, but waiting on a certain console.
They do a pretty good job on the website of like saying like the most recent announcement of the release date.
Yeah.
Hello, Ian.
Ian's here.
You were just
Hi.
about to set the draft order.
Good timing. I'm about to hit the big green button.
Your border is green.
Here we
but I
go.
can't hear you.
Yeah. I have to check your mic settings. They might not even be able to hear us.
That's true.
Oh, they're
Well-
deafened.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Oh.
Oh, goodbye.
We love-
Oh gosh.
We love tech.
That does not seem to have fixed it.
This draft order is this the one that it decided?
I have not hit the button yet because of the tech issues. Should I hit the button?
Oh, it'll randomize. Okay, because I
Yeah.
was like, this is just the
It
order.
will
we gave.
randomize.
Got
I
it.
will
No, I
randomize
was just
it.
curious. I was just curious. I don't care. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here is the order. First is publisher. Press F to publish.
Oh fuck! God damn it!
Second is Cascara Creative. Third is Uncle Nintendo. Fourth is Cortana Innovations. Fifth is Game Goat Studios. Sixth is Depressed Dandy Boy.
This is
Seventh
bullshit.
is King of the Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
But Jacob, that means you will get because it's a snake draft. So you will get 2 picks very quickly, right next to each other.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep. So you'll go last and then first.
What's
Ian,
the
your
order?
border is constantly green, so I'm wondering if your input is wrong because it is like, oh, that's cool. It sent a message too. It's like trying to, it's thinking it's picking up something. So I don't know if you had like a headset for work or something. Or if you can get on your phone, that might be an option too. Anyway. So am I
Anyway,
good to?
if
am I
I-
good to go? Oh no, you haven't started the draft.
True.
Yes, I was about to say
Do we need
the
to-
draft
do we
has
need to,
begun.
Should I email the website person about changing the name of our league?
No, it's funny. I love it.
2204.
You had that last year.
Yeah.
And also
That's
by
awesome.
league manager Clara Matt with 1 T.
What? There's no way I did that.
You
I'm
did.
not that dumb.
Unfortunately.
That's awesome.
Am I heard now?
Yay!
You are
That's
heard now.
Yes.
All right. So the draft has begun.
Yes.
Um,
I
and
cor-
So right off the bat, like I said, didn't want to go first because I am torn between 3 different games. One of those games I'm not very bullish on. Another game I don't know enough about the rest of the franchise. So I'm going with the third game that I do kind of know a bit about, and that is Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, good
Um,
choice.
Oh,
Ghost
screw
of
you.
Yotei is the follow-up, the follow-up for Ghost of Tsushima that did very well,
Mhm.
starring I forgot their name from
Erica,
Critical Role.
Erica,
Erica
Ishii.
Ishii.
They're not from Critical Role. They're from something else.
Dropout, D20.
Dropout.
Destiny
Yeah.
2.
Erica Ishii. Destiny 2. 20-Sided Tavern on Broadway. Um, Ghost of Yotei looks great. I didn't play Tsushima, but it is, of the 3 games I was debating, the one I knew the most about. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm going with. And I think my other big choices that I want will be safe for a round.
I'm mad.
I know. I had a feeling.
It is one of my most looked forward to games from one of my favorite games. And you haven't even played the first one.
Hey, remember when
Yeah.
you
Upset with
snagged
You know,
Persona 3
always gotta
Reload
play.
from me last year?
Yeah, and that became my favorite game of the year this year, so you shush. It was worth it. Anyway, it is my turn.
Uh-huh.
What to go with? I think I need to start with a safe pick. So I'm gonna go with Monster Hunter Wilds.
Ah, you son of a gun.
Yep.
I mean, it's fair.
That was my number 2.
Yep.
This game looks so
I think
freaking good.
Seems like a pretty safe early pickup to me.
Oh,
Definitely a good choice.
so
All
the
right, so Uncle Nintendo drafted Grand Theft Auto 6,
Mhm.
and then Cortana Innovations drafted Elden Ring Night Rain.
Well, let's talk about those.
And-
yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't think GTA 6 comes out this year. Straight
that's
up.
exactly what I was
Ooh.
going to say.
It's getting
Yotei,
pushed out.
Monster Hunter Wilds, Grand Theft Auto 6 were my top 3.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Grand Theft Auto 6, I think there's a high chance it doesn't come out this year. I'm not as bullish on like it's not happening as a bunch of other people on the internet are, but there is enough doubt
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. I also think this game has potential, given what we know about it. I think it has the potential to get middling reviews from critics. I think because they're talking about a female protagonist, and I don't think that
Mhm.
I need to say much more than that when it comes to online gamers. So not only
It
that,
won't have an impact on Metacritic.
okay, but I also wonder, like, there's a lot of things that they could get very wrong if they're not careful. Because as far as I know, I think this is the first time they might have a female protagonist. And there's a lot of wrong things they can do. And so I just think that's I like the idea, to be very clear. But I do think that makes it could be a bit of a landmine pick. If it does release.
I trust Rockstar and its writers. They've done great things in the past. What scares me is Rockstar is like a league of its own in the AAA gaming space. It's like quadruple A.
All right, Ubisoft.
I'm worried that they're going to focus too much on multiplayer and the single player is going to suffer.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on GTA before we talk about Elden Ring?
No.
Elden
for me.
Ring, I'm scared of because Night Rain is such a wildly different thing for From Software to do.
Mm-hmm.
I trust their art direction wholly. I trust their combat locally wholly. Their multiplayer combat has always been a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Even in Elden Ring. So Night Rain being a multiplayer centric game scares me. But we are in 2024. They can just, and they've made a shit ton of money. They could just hire some really good tech team to do better netcode. Hopefully, I don't know if that's how it works, but I would think so.
I would imagine if it's their focus, they will do what they can to make it work. I don't think they
Yeah.
I don't think they can release a multiplayer centric game and it be as jank as their other multiplayer experiences. I
For
think they
sure.
have to. But I think it's where I think is it's supposed to be like a roguelike procedurally generated thingy, right? I don't know exactly what it
I
is.
have no
I've seen
idea,
very
honestly.
That's
little.
what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
That's what I thought they said. So if that's what it is, I think the more smaller scale zones, if that's the case, could help with
Yes.
that. So I'm
Yeah, absolutely.
that one
I
will
just
be
think it's good
interesting.
And I guess that's part of the thing with the Fantasy Critic is like, they're gonna we're gonna see if they prove it.
Devil's advocate. From Software doesn't miss. They just don't miss. They just
Very
don't.
well.
You're not
I'm sorry,
wrong.
they just don't.
You're not wrong.
Hardcore.
They've never missed. They've never missed.
Yeah, you're so not wrong. Sweet. This one might not be that safe, but I'm gonna pick it anyway. Oh, please don't step on my soundboard.
The cat. The cat.
The cat is the
I was
game.
gonna say that too.
I am going to grab. What is it?
The one people accused of being AI?
No. I'm gonna be grabbing Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yo.
For your first pick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Pokemon,
Okay.
despite its issues, I think they really cooked with the Legends formula. People loved Legends Arceus. I think if they just
true.
build, because the problem with a lot of Pokemon games is that they're constantly switching hardware, and Game Freak is too small of a studio to do that. I think if they stick with the same engine and just make the game better, which I imagine is what they're gonna do, and if Nintendo steps in at all for the launch of the Switch 2 and wants to make the game better, I think there is a very, very good case for this game to be pretty incredible. Mega Evolutions are coming back as a fan favorite. I think that's really exciting. And so I really I think I wanted to go with Legends ZA, because I think Pokemon, just even when Pokemon games are bad, they always sell well and they get reviewed at least decent. It felt like a good, safe first option that I didn't want to get
That's
taken from
fair.
me.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
So there we go.
I agree. Pretty non-controversial first pick. It's gonna be good, and that's gonna be Sid Meier.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna go with
Yes.
Nice.
I was thinking about that
We're gonna
Good.
Not
We're gonna go
Civ
with-
7, by the way, just Sid Meier.
no just
Sid Meier, the guy.
this nation. That's not a part of it. It's just the man himself.
Yeah,
Just
that was
shows
gonna be
up at
my
your
next
door.
pick if it was still available, which I knew was not likely. Civ 7, it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
I played a good amount of Civ 5. I have Civ 6, but didn't play hardly any. But
I went through a Civ 6 phase earlier this year when I was earlier in 2024. So I spent the first 4 months of 2024 unemployed and the last 2 months of 2024 unemployed, and it ate up most of that first 4 months.
Yeah. Civ's
Weirdly enough,
great.
The only civilization game that I've played is Civ 4.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Those games all rule. Like
very
they're
good opening theme.
yeah. They're all just fantastic games. I've played 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I've really enjoyed them. And I'm very excited. I'm really bad at these games. Like when I play with friends, I'm always the first one to die. But I do love these games. And so I think 7 is a great choice.
All right,
I
Ian,
don't know
you're
if
up.
I've ever played a Civ game.
Well, the next time we get 8 hours minimum, we can play a game.
So like Stellaris. I see. I'm actually not allowed to play that game anymore. I play very unhealthy amounts.
Yeah, fair.
There we go.
It's like my wife in The Sims.
Also, post last year interview questions, frequently asked questions. Why do I think I won? Very, very simple. I bet on
Get off the
two
stage.
games. I bet on 2 games that everybody thought was going to be mid at best and probably very bad at worst. The first one was Destiny 2: The Final Shape, which had one of the highest critic review scores of the entire year.
Just crazy.
I genuinely did not expect that to happen. I thought it was going to be an okay end, but not like end game level for that community. I was wrong. I was very happily wrong. And I got a lot more points from that than I thought I was going to get. The second one was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah,
who
yeah.
expects a Bethesda game to be good? All right.
Yeah.
Who expected a
very,
video
very
game
understandable.
adaptation to be good?
Starfield was one of the greatest disappointments of my life.
Yeah.
So
So
but I
sad.
also knew it was the team behind the Wolfenstein games, which are just fucking brilliant. If you've never played them, you've got to hit the most recent generation of those games, New Colossus, New World Order, and then there was a spin-off not too long ago that was still really, really good as well.
So in that spirit, you should take a wild bet on your first pick.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea.
Where's Marathon then?
Oh, whoa.
That's a great pick.
That'd be a swing.
Well, just to completely bite the hand that feeds me, I have no faith in what remains of Bungie and CEO Pete Parsons' car collection.
Yeah.
shall
Since that
we-
expansion, I've maybe played Destiny on purpose, loaded the game on purpose to play it probably twice.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've not even done the raid from that expansion. That's how quickly I dipped after finishing the main story. This one might be controversial. I don't know. I'll let y'all decide.
Let it see.
I found it not too long ago. The game was actually held back until this year due to them wanting a very specific title character that already existed in established canon somewhere. Now, this company has not done too much with this character in their IP for a very long time. They did a little bit with a 2-game franchise that actually did pretty well called Epic Mickey. I am, of course, talking about Oswald, who has just entered the public domain, and as such, this year they will be releasing. Did it work?
Mouse PI for hire.
Ew, interesting.
So is this an Oswald game?
Yes, it is a. It is not through Disney. It's since he's in the public domain now. They're using his original appearance from his very first short. And yeah, they're making a detective game out of it.
That's
You
interesting.
just made Elena very happy. She loves
It
Oswald.
is in the same art style as like that rubber hose cartoony feel. So kind of like how they painstakingly hand animated Cuphead. I'm pretty sure they hand animated Mouse PI as well. Look up a trailer
Yeah.
later. It looks incredible.
I'm showing it some of it on
That's
stream.
Has the Steam listing up.
Yeah, I've never heard of this. Let's see.
I cannot
discovered-
wait for it to be like a 10 out of 10 game.
I discovered them like a week ago on the app on my phone, still currently known as Twitter, because I've not updated it still since before Elon took over.
It's awesome.
On X, yeah, the dev company was like, well, we can finally tease that this game is coming out this year. You all know what we were waiting on.
This is this developer's first game, at least on Steam. The publisher has not even released that many games.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, looks sick.
Taking a big risk.
Cool
you want
guess.
a big swing? You got it.
We'll take your second business.
Yeah, you get where it's snakes, so you get to pick again.
I forgot. Man, it's been a while since I've. I don't know how many of y'all know that I also do this. It's actually happened 2 times where I have entered a fantasy draft of some sort, not really knowing what I was doing at all, and subsequently won the very first rendition of that draft. The first one was actually in 2022. My friends and I do a fantasy draft for the One Piece manga. So we pick characters that would be our crew. So your captain, your swordsman, your cook, all of the roles based on the series. And then anytime they appear in chapters, they get points. Anytime they enter some sort of combat or some sort of character development, you get points. If your character dies and stays dead, you get points, all that kind of stuff. That was the first draft that I did of this sort. I had no idea what I was doing. I've never done any sort of fantasy league, so I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I'm gonna suck at this. And I won by so many points that they had to change and add more rules to prevent something like me happening again. My very first time.
So long.
I'm picking against my counter pick last year.
This is the year.
I am now heel turning a second time. Just like I am now against Bungie and think their games this year are gonna suck. I also think that Silksong is gonna happen this year. I'm
do too.
pretty sure. I could be wrong.
God, I hope so.
But I'm pretty sure the mystery game that's gonna be at ID at Xbox in like I think this week even. I think the surprise game is gonna be Silksong. I do.
It's gotta be this year. Like
We do have a handful of announcements coming up this month.
Yeah.
I think Silksong is a SGF release if it is / announcement. But I do also think it's this year.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
And if
We've
it's
said
not
that
this
for
year,
2
it's
years.
never.
I've lost hope.
It
We've
has to
seen
be.
footage. We've seen footage.
It doesn't exist.
Stop it. I want it
It
so
does, though.
bad.
It exists. It exists more than Half-Life 3 ever did before last year.
Yeah.
It exists in our hearts.
And if
may
it doesn't
only
come out
ever
this year,
exist
then I
in
will
our
agree
hearts.
with you. I think if it's not this year, never.
It has
But
to
I
be
do
this year.
think there's a big chance.
It
Yeah.
has to be.
Anyway,
If
for
it's
sake of
exactly, if
fact.
it's not this year, it's not.
Since it's my turn,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick a game that I'm really looking forward to this year. Just straight up, I think it's gonna be awesome, and I cannot wait to play it. And that is gonna be Split Fiction. I think it's gonna be
Oh.
so good.
Damn it. God damn
That
it.
game looks so sick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I think everything that comes out of that studio is gonna be gold forever.
Yeah.
And that is my no one can convince me otherwise.
Yeah. No, it's a great pick.
I never got around to It Takes Two, but it looks cool.
Is that one cross-platform? Like, could we? No, because you have to do Steam Remote Play if you use Steam. It's kind of co-op. I want to play that so bad. I want to do that and A Way Out.
And like,
I'm gonna play it with my girlfriend.
And I mean, like, it's the fucking like, they've nailed everything they've done, and this game looks awesome. So like, Josef Fares is just genius.
Yeah.
So it'll be great, and I'm really mad.
It's
because
gonna be high 90s easy.
Yeah.
That is my hope.
Yeah.
Good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
So it is my turn. And I'm gonna pick
Sure is.
one that I think if I don't pick it, the auto drafters will get it. And that is Metroid Prime 4.
Nice.
Not much else to say about that game. It's probably gonna be fantastic. The trailers for it look incredible. I still need to play through Prime 2 and 3. I just beat Prime 1 for the first time this summer. I freaking adore Metroid. And so I need to play the other two Prime games. But I'm stoked for Metroid Prime 4 to finally be a thing. And I'm excited to see with the next when the next console comes out, how this game looks on it. So easy pick from me.
Very on-brand Billy pick.
Yes.
4-4.
Yes.
All right, and then the other two, the two auto drafters, We've got Cortana Innovations with Doom: The Dark Ages. That's a good pickup.
Yep. That was going to be one of my next ones.
Mine too.
So for those that don't know, this is like it's the next Doom game. It's going to be like medieval fantasy, dark medieval fantasy themed. Apparently they're going to change up the gameplay a little bit and make it like less jumpy. You're going to be on the ground more, less like in the air combat, and people seem to be pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Nintendo got, funnily enough, the unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer.
If leaks are to be believed,
Yeah.
so there has been a very recent credible leak that suggests that it will be announced, but not a launch title, but still coming out this year.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well, yes.
It just all depends what Nintendo will decide to do.
Well,
Who
we have
knows?
Uncle Nintendo here, they can tell us.
Yeah. Well, they're not here. That's the thing.
I know, you're right.
So Uncle Nintendo can't tell us.
It's my turn.
It is.
All right. Speaking of Nintendo, I have a pretty strong feeling that another Mario game will be out this year for the Switch too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna draft
Yeah.
the unannounced next mainline Mario Kart.
Man, you guys are
Yeah, that makes
bold.
my next two picks easier. So fine. But damn.
I mean, it's one of.
I was
We were riffing about this before
ahead,
we
Joey.
started. It's one of those games that has to be coming out this year. I don't see how you launch with how well Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold. I don't know how you launch another console without a new Mario Kart.
unless they have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Deluxe.
Which they might. They could do the Alpha Rad route, and then it's Mario Kart 8 Platinum.
Bundled the
and
expansion
so-
pack in with the game.
Yeah.
This same leak, as said, the platformer said that it will be a launch title and that it is a new entry.
I mean, it's gotta
And this
be.
is somebody, and now that I can talk about the leak more without fearing that a pick is going to get stolen, this was the same leak that said
Sorry.
that Red Dead Redemption 2 will be a launch title. It's fine. I knew that it was probably going to get taken, but I was torn between three things for my next two picks, and so now this will be easier.
Mhm.
This person was also very accurate about, I think it was the PS5 Pro and something else, like down to the day, on two very big releases recently.
Yeah.
And so very possible.
Here's
So
hoping.
yeah, my next two picks aren't incredibly high on hype factor, but I do. They're mainstream enough that I do think I want to grab them this early. The first one is, how do I? There it is. Okay, here we go. The first one is The Outer Worlds 2.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Outer Worlds 1 did very well on Metacritic,
Mhm.
and I trust this team implicitly
Yeah.
to do really well with the sequel. The trailer nailed it in terms of theme. It was the funniest trailer of the Game Awards. And I think in a world where the funniest games we have are the childish humor of Borderlands, the Outer Worlds does very well when it has such intelligent. It's not highbrow humor, but it is like it's smarter humor than we get in most games.
Yeah.
And that's something that does really well for itself when it comes to ratings.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
In a similar vein,
No.
search for this one. I don't think. Sorry, not similar. In that it's a sequel. So I don't think I'm grabbing what you want.
Okay.
Slay the Spire 2.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice.
I'm so stoked for this game.
It's expected to come out this year. It is planned for early access, at least this year. Slay the Spire 1 killed it, and card game's gonna card game. People
Mhm.
love these card games. People love Slay the Spire.
This is true.
People still play Slay the Spire.
I love it.
I'm expecting it to slay.
Yeah.
So
It will.
Oh gosh.
Outer Worlds 2, Slay the Spire 2.
Good choices.
Ghost of Yotei, which is Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Oh, true.
We have a
Oh my
theme,
God.
my friend.
To make this the
You only get 2
I
more
need to change
picks,
my
so
publisher- I need to change my publisher name. 2 more picks. Got 2. All
Press
right.
2 to publish.
That failed joke. You go ahead.
Let's see here. I'm between a couple.
I'm so afraid mine's getting yoinked.
Well, I think I know what you are afraid I'm yoinking.
If you're not yoinking it, I'm afraid the auto drafters might.
Yeah. I think just based off of number, if what I'm thinking of is what you're thinking of, then yes. But yeah, I think I probably should just do that.
Mhm.
But there's 2 others that sound like more fun.
I love talking during drafts.
Yeah.
I know.
You just can't.
I'm fairly certain I know what this one is.
I have no clue.
I'm gonna go with one of the more fun ones. I'm gonna go with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Ooh,
Yo,
good choice. Good
solid.
choice.
Is
Okay.
not. It doesn't have an official release date. It says 2025, so I am hopeful. It's a Metal Gear Solid game. Like, it's gonna go crazy.
And people are
Everyone's
stoked
gonna
for
love it.
this one.
Yeah.
I think this is a
Mhm.
great choice.
How many Metal Gear Solid games have we had without Hideo Kojima at the helm?
That's a fair point.
That's a good question. I don't know.
But I think we've had some.
I do
I
not
think
Yeah.
know.
At least 2.
At least 2? Okay.
They're not the better one.
Yeah. It'll still probably be fun, great.
But like,
Yeah,
didn't
probably.
this one's getting the original voice actor, right? Isn't that part of it? Because this is a remake. And I think that's part of it is they got the original guy.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
my Discord bot's going nuts. By the way,
Is it?
I love it. It's so funny. Billy, I
They're funny.
think you got lucky.
I did. Very much
Um,
so.
I'll go ahead and read the next ones for our auto drafts.
Yeah.
Uncle Nintendo drafted Resident Evil 9, which is unannounced. So who knows how that's gonna go?
I got to know how much, because I wonder how much thought Dusty put into this when they auto drafted. Because
Right.
Resident Evil 9 and an unannounced mainline platformer.
Yeah, that's
So-
dangerous. And then David at Cortana Interventions did Avowed, which is a good
Which
pick.
I'm so
I
excited for that
really
one.
wanted to.
I guess because of RE9, that means that they did definitely have the unannounced mainline Mario 3D thing
Right.
on their watch list. I think chances of an RE9 this year are high.
I think so too.
Because like we have,
I agree.
we have a new or a remake of a Resident Evil game in 2024.
Right.
And that's a franchise that's been working very hard to be serialized.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
And they're doing well. Like the remakes and the new games do extremely well. So I'm not
IMDb says 2025.
interesting. So yeah.
If we want to do that.
But Avowed, I have been stoked for Avowed since that one got announced. That's kind of been cooking for
It's
a
been a
while.
long time.
So all right, sweet.
Is
I
it
got
the same studio as Outer Worlds too, right?
yes. Obsidian. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts that Obsidian is coming out with 2 games this year.
Yes. 100%.
So they
And
say.
Only one of them is going to be great.
No, they
Outer
both
Worlds
need to be
2 is still
good.
just
No, they
estimated.
both need to be good. Because I want Avowed to show
I want Avowed
Bethesda
to
how
be
to
Skyrim.
make a game.
Yeah, we really need a good Skyrim, and I need Avowed to do well.
Okay,
Skyrim was a good
Bilky's
game.
next.
I'm grabbing this game before it gets taken by somebody. I'm taking the new Yakuza game.
Okay.
Like a
100%.
Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii looks incredible. It's using the same map as Infinite Wealth, which I loved. Everybody loves Majima in the Yakuza fan group. I am absolutely stoked for this game, and I think it's gonna be dubbed in English too. Which, if you don't know, Matt Mercer voices Majima in this
That's cool.
franchise. They actually have some pretty solid voice actors, like high name voice actors that come in and do the English dub. Roger Craig Smith voices a character named Daigo.
And just like story and like vibe has
Yes.
always been a huge focus for this series, and
Yeah.
so any Yakuza game is gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for this game. So I'm really surprised the auto drafters didn't yoink this one, because hype points
The
it's
hype
pretty high
points
up
are
there.
just not very high. It being a Japanese game,
It's up there, 85.8. That's higher
I was
than.
gonna say, I think it was the next one.
Yeah, it was. It was at the top of the list in the picks. It's up there.
I wonder if Dave had time to set any watch list, or if he's just relying on a high hype factor.
Maybe. So
He
it was
did a watch list
close.
last night. I taught him how to do it.
Oh, sweet.
So I mean, it's up there.
All right, Jacob.
My next pick might be a controversial one. I don't know. I've been looking at some details surrounding this game, and it just looks really funny and fun. And so I'm just gonna snag it and see what happens. And that sorry. That game is gonna be Date Everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That looks
Yes.
really fun.
Yes.
That's a
Great
good one.
choice.
So much fun.
No, I think that's great. The game looks
That's a
hilarious.
funny pick.
Yeah, it looks so funny and like also kind of cute and like
Oh my god, it comes out on Valentine's Day. That's adorable.
it does.
Yep.
It does. Isn't that so funny?
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
great.
cute.
I love that. What a good pick.
I don't know anything about it really, but just the title alone is.
Well, and I think as far as Fantasy Critic, it's one of those games that like I don't think it's gonna give you nothing. And it's like mid to high depending on reviews. I think you'll do I think you'll be
Exactly.
fine.
I think it could give you nothing, because I'm
could.
worried about. Well, here's the thing: it could be a great game. I'm worried about, because it's kind of a joke and it's like a Valentine's Day gimmick and stuff. Will at least just from looking at the name and the release date, I don't know anything about it. Will it get enough reviews to get a Metacritic score?
Maybe
I think
not.
it will.
I think so.
I think it showed up in a
I know for
Nintendo
a fact that
Direct.
The voice
Oh,
cast-
okay.
Yeah.
If it releases,
And I know
on
the
Switch-
voice cast is like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
Cool.
here, Date Everything voice cast. Because I remember because I think everything is voice acted.
Yeah.
That's good. Too many of these games aren't. Fully voice
Abby Trott, Robbie Damon,
100 fully voice.
Laura
acted.
Bailey, Johnny Bosch. I'm looking for people. Sun Wong. Ben Starr.
Well, that's right.
Oh, Ben Starr.
Felicia
Ben
Day.
Starr, that's a good
Ashley
one.
Johnson. I mean, just kind of good. Roger Craig Smith.
That's
Yeah, this doesn't get
funny.
reviewed. That's crazy.
Marisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't Google it.
Neil Newborn,
17
all the
Japanese.
Baldur's Gate 3, Asterion, Sims, Where's Michelle When You Need Her? Like, come on. It's gonna get
Yeah, that's
reviewed.
again one of the reasons why I picked the game.
This is this company's first game.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who's Team
Great pick.
17? Oh, the publisher did Overcooked too.
Oh yeah, Team
So,
17
yeah,
does
it'll
so
follow.
many games. They are a crazy publisher. They publish damn near everything, it seems like.
Anyway, chaotic choice, great choice.
Overcooked
Ian.
is so good.
All right. Some of y'all might consider these next two big risks and big swings as well, but I'm going to
Yeah.
take them.
I'm here for it. Mainly
the
because
first
you won.
one is actually one of the most anticipated games of 2025 if it releases.
If
You
If
already
it
have that.
releases.
Yeah, you do already have that.
Armed and dangerous.
What?
Again.
A second Marvel
Oh,
rival?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about Death Stranding too.
Yeah.
Too. That was one of the ones that I was between last round.
Oh well, so a thing that could impact Death Stranding 2 are the SAG-AFTRA strikes on AI for video games.
Mhm.
But I think that's only Hideo Kojima's other titles he's working on right now that are getting impacted by that. Death Stranding 2 seems to be okay. But
Yeah, it
So-
was in the 2024 state of play, so I'm very confident that that it might be releasing like November maybe.
Solid.
So, tell me why the SAG-AFTRA thing is messing with the game.
because it's impacting their ability to do the full facial scans that they like to
Okay.
do for everybody. And I don't know why, because the SAG strikes are only for certain companies. I think like Rockstar and a couple other, like Naughty Dog maybe, and a couple other companies. Um, I don't know why Hideo Kojima's company would be affected by this, unless maybe it's a publisher thing.
Could be.
Because the SAG-AFTRA strike is not. I don't think it's a general video game strike, or else we'd be hearing a lot more about it. But Hideo Kojima has said on Twitter that it is impacting development of titles. I don't think he said which titles though.
Okay. Cool beans.
Something I'll
Go
when we
Unions.
do our 2025 like discussion like official stream later this week. I'll do a deeper dive into that and see if I can figure it out.
Please, I would love to hear about that.
Ian, choice number 2.
Yes, yes. I've been looking through some. Okay, this is my last complete copium if this game releases.
I want to remind you,
um,
you only get 5 today, and then we have to do
Yeah.
bids later. Just so that you
Yes.
know. Okay, just making sure.
Well, you should change your publisher name to Copium.
The Cope
Bring
train.
the Copium Bay.
Yes, I'll get one more the next round, and I'm very, very confident that no one else has this one on their radar, and I'll probably get it today.
Why are you taking it? It's fine. You know what? Lose. I don't care.
What?
I mean, my fifth and final of the day, because I'm on 4, right?
This is your
Yes, you're on
fourth.
4.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done
Yeah, I'm very, very. I know for a fact this one is coming out this year. Is the thing. Like this one is coming out this year. It's just, I know it is very unlikely anybody else even knows who this studio is until I bring it up.
Yeah.
But that's not this pick. This pick is another if it comes out. Sorry, Billy.
What are you doing to me? Oh, okay. I'm not worried.
No shot.
I am not worried about a
No
Persona
shot.
6 this year.
no shot, dude.
I will
As much as I would love for that
eat
to
my
happen.
foot
It's
if
just
so.
wild. Well,
I think we'll get news on it this year.
here's a Game Rant article
I
from
agree.
December 30th saying Persona 6's reveal may be closer than one would think.
I think
Tomorrow.
listen, I would love it. But I'm really hoping that we actually see something from Shin Megami Tensei proper first. I would love to be super wrong about this because Persona 5's been out how long?
Nearly a decade.
Nearly a decade.
Actually,
For real?
2020.
Okay, that changes everything for me, actually.
Yeah, Persona 5, I want to say is 2015 or 2016.
Yeah. And then Persona 5 Royal has been vamped, resold how many times now? Persona 3 Reload
September
just
2016.
finished. I think I don't think it's out of the question necessarily. But it would be
Do you know how many,
crazy.
do we know how many like teams, quote unquote, Atlas has?
They have a lot, but
Like,
they
there is-
specifically have a team for Persona.
Okay, then then knowing that,
But
it's possible. we get
but the
Persona.
Atlas development team has greatly expanded. I don't know how who all worked on Metaphor, for example.
Right.
Like, I don't know how much of that was the Persona team. I know the composer was one. Soji Meguro worked
Yeah,
on
but
We
those.
just
composing,
have
you
Persona 3
just put a
Reload
bunch
as
of
well,
fucking
which was
notes
a
together
lot.
and you're done in a day. Who cares about music?
Right. You just plug buttons in and
Exactly.
it makes music.
Yeah, we don't have like 3 musicians in here.
But here's the thing. I will say Atlas would be the Mad Lads of a studio to be like, oh, by the way, this is out. Like, think about how many games they released last year.
Well, didn't they do that with Metaphor, or was that?
Metaphor had some time to cook.
No,
It was
Okay.
like,
they had a pretty long cycle.
Yeah.
News cycle.
but like,
I still haven't gotten to play it. I haven't been able to afford it, and I'm dying to play
I
it.
know I am too. I'm so excited to play. I just haven't.
It's fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's a wild swing. I hope that we can look back at that clip of you picking this, and then we all get to make fun of ourselves for being crazy
Okay,
about
If
it.
Silk Song and Persona 6 both come out, you deserve to win, so that's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
You do deserve it for the long shot.
Yeah.
For the like, you're pulling back the arrow and letting loose.
I mean, I've already won. I have nothing to lose.
Oh my god.
I like that. That's funny.
All right. So my next pick is going to be, I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly how good this game is going to be. The last couple in the franchise have been pretty great.
Mhm.
The middle really plateaued, but we'll see. I have high hopes despite the controversy surrounding the game. I am going to pick Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Mm.
I thought that's where you were going to go with that. Interesting.
Because here's the thing.
I see the vision.
You know how they say, go woke, go broke? I'm going woke, and I'm not gonna be broke. So hey,
There you go.
that's all.
That was
I
catchy.
think it's a good game. I'm excited to play it actually.
It's like
That's
it's like
cool.
Miyamoto once said: "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad."
Yeah.
Or was it Gabe Newell?
I think it was Miyamoto.
Who's to say?
No, it wasn't either of them.
Oh, I thought it was.
I think it was
It's
Sterling just
commonly
now,
misattributed to many famous people in the games industry.
Oh, I see. I always see the picture with Miyamoto then.
So it's
If that's the
Hideo.
case, we should just say Sterling said it. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a good pick. I feel like.
I think it could suck because a lot of the Assassin's Creed games suck.
Yeah.
But not all
But
of them.
it's
In fact, I would say not
Assassin's
most of
Creed.
them.
Yeah.
It's like that meme where it's like place board face, place Japan, freaking out. Like,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed boring. Assassin's Creed Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but since Assassin's Creed 2 came out, basically everybody and their mom has been saying, "Take us to Japan,"
Yeah.
and they're finally doing it. So I think it's gonna be good. I don't
Yeah.
know.
4 is one of my favorite games ever. Black Flag is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't say much. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 1, and that is not a joke.
I did play the first 3, and also the one where you played as twins. Didn't like that one, but
That's
I loved the
Syndicate.
first 2. That's what?
Syndicate.
Syndicate. Yeah, it was okay, but I didn't love it.
Okay. I'm going to pick one that everybody should see coming, and that is Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
Sweet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah. It's coming out.
Dragon Quest 3 remake did incredibly well. Dragon Quest 2 kind of sucks. Every version I have played of it has kind of been awful. So I really am excited for the remake that I think is going to make it playable. These games are also really short, so I think the reviewers, at the very least, will have fairly positive things to say. Dragon Quest 1 is a classic. It's the birth of the JRPG as we know it. And so I'm really hoping for good things here, but I just kind of have to pick it out of
Well, I
principle.
hope it sucks.
Well, shut up, Matt.
I'm kind of sad now that we only get 5 because there's like so many other things I want, but I'm like,
You've
I
got
don't. I
$100
don't want
bucks.
the rest of my 10.
Yeah. So our auto drafters, Cortana Innovations, chose Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That comes out the
Interesting.
4th
Oh, anything about
Does
of
that.
February. So that one, and then Uncle Nintendo chose Marvel's Wolverine.
Dusty, what are you
Crazy that
doing?
they're getting all of their watch list, by the way.
Well, they're choosing
Well,
games
yeah,
that
because
haven't
they're
been
all
announced.
unannounced games.
Yeah.
The only one that's
Um,
been announced is GTA 6.
And that's not coming out this year.
And that's only because they
It's
went
not.
third.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Video games tend to have a shorter announcement of release date to release window nowadays.
True. I'm with you on that.
Insomniac, we haven't heard anything about this game in I don't know how long. It could have gotten impacted by the big leaks that happened last year,
Mhm.
but it does seem like a 2025 Summer Games Fest. Hey, it's coming out this fall in the Spider-Man 2 time slot.
What's crazy is like to kind of bounce off that the unannounced games Dusty has picked all seem likely. Like they seem like likely possibilities. Unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer. We are 99% sure the Switch 2 is launching this year. We So Mario is going to accompany that. That is a fact. If the console launches, we are getting Mario. Resident Evil 9, as you said, we haven't had a new Resident Evil in a while. Resident Evil 4 Remake was the last one we got. They typically do a back and forth between remake, new game, or remake, new version of old game. We've already had two, I think, we had Village, and then there was like an add-on that came later. Resident Evil 9 makes sense. And like you said, Wolverine, it's been announced. It's a very good possibility that it could be there. Like I wouldn't be surprised if those games came out necessarily.
Yeah.
Wolverine's a
The
little
big leak that Insomniac had
2023.
pushed Wolverine back quite a bit.
The what? Uh-huh.
That big leak that Insomniac had, I bet you that pushed
Yeah.
Wolverine back more than we realize.
It might have. I don't know. I don't know exactly why it would have, but I wouldn't doubt that it would have,
yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that came out about the game, and I would imagine they don't want to include those leaked things in the game.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the leak to
It
comment.
depends on how much they care.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Development's expensive. So it's a
Yeah.
big question of how much are they willing to do. So yeah, crazy picks though. Matt, you get the next one.
Indeed.
So right now, your three games that you've picked all start with M.
No way, dude.
So I'm sorry I took Metroid from you, I guess. But yeah, you have Monster Hunter, Mario Kart, Metal Gear.
There is one M you could take that I'm planning on taking.
Is it in my watch list? I don't know if it is.
The
Probably
word
not.
"my" doesn't count.
Probably not. It's kind of a long shot for whether or not you guys would even think of it. So we'll see.
Just search the letter M and see what pops up.
Wait, are you out of games you have prepped?
I want to see. Let's hear capital M search.
No, I figured it out. I'm not gonna take it though.
Did you figure it out?
I figured it out.
I'm the
not
next
gonna
pick.
take it,
Tell me what you think it is.
Okay, I think it's Mafia.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't figure it out. I'm not picking that either though. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great pick.
Yeah. I mean, I know. What was that?
What?
What
Did
was
anybody hear
what?
that noise?
No.
Oh, it was the website.
Discord
telling me
went
it was
off.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
time for the draft. Xenoblade Chronicles is I would say a safe pick. I don't know anything about any of the games,
Here's
but
here's
I know
the
they
crazy
debate
thing.
well.
Hold on.
I
This-
love the first one.
Yeah. This game,
Really, we can't hear you.
I know. This game was trapped on this console. And it was always said that this game would be an impossible port because of how much this game utilized the Wii U gamepad and just how much was around it. So the fact that this game was announced not that long ago and it's coming out this year
In 2 months.
is crazy. First off, I also paid $60 for this game used
You got it ripped off, dude.
because I didn't
Wow.
think it would happen.
Used?
Yeah, I think it might have been 50. But I bought this
That's still
before
too
before the shop went down because I thought it would never happen. So I bought it so I could play. I still haven't played it. I started Xenoblade 2 and I need to get to it. But anyway, this
No, you
game,
don't have to.
yeah, right. This game is massive. I like anybody who is a Xenoblade fan is going to be stoked for this
With
game.
my M, massive.
There you go. This was one of those games. I don't know if Luke is still in chat. He's probably fangirling right now about this pick because it's a crazy one. But like, it was just one of those impossible games. And Monolith is here to do it again. There's your M. It's Monolith Soft.
Oh, you're right.
Um,
There we go. Cool.
Anyway,
Got it.
rant over.
So I'm here to start wrapping things up. I
Yeah.
get the 4th and 5th pick. Then we start the 5th and
Yep.
final round.
Yep.
And then
So-
counter picks.
And then counter picks. You're right. I'm actually kind of second guessing myself now because I'm like, will you guys even think about taking either of these that I want, or should I just pick them
No.
up later?
Oh.
And I wasn't second guessing myself until like when I went to go click the draft game button. But
I'm curious about the M1 now, so you should at least draft that so my curiosity can be fulfilled.
okay, I will take that. I need to go back to the main page because I started looking at things because I was trying to move very quickly to like do last second research. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take both of them. The first one is from the developers of one of my favorite games of all time. The I'm forgetting the adjective. Hold on. I'm remembering
Microsoft
the
Flight
rest of them.
Simulator.
The Artful Escape.
Mm.
Francis Vendetti. I am taking Mixtape.
Mm.
I've heard of
Mixtape,
this. I can't place it though.
I want to say it had footage at Game Awards. Maybe it was SGF. I think it was Game Awards. It looks beautiful. Looks like a lot of fun. Artful Escape was one of the most creative, interesting music-based experiences I have had in a game in a long time. And it's a very artsy game. And that's where I like to lean. And if my tastes in artsy games are anything like Neva and Outer Wilds and stuff, should do well for me.
Yeah, very cool.
Another one,
Cool.
my next one has a lot of hype surrounding it, but no, apparently the website doesn't think so. When this was announced at the Game Awards, people were going nuts. I am so excited to see this game and see how it goes. I am taking Rematch, the soccer game from the
Oh
season,
yeah.
Mm.
That's a good
Um,
pick. I like that.
which looks to be one of the most interesting soccer games to ever be made. As long as it does well, it's the Sifu developers. I think they can do soccer action
Oh yeah,
brilliantly. It'll be fucking hilarious.
Did you
very
play
cool.
Sifu?
Nope.
I played it a little bit. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think it's on PS Plus. This is where I got it from.
Well, I don't have a PlayStation anymore.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Uh,
My bad.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I would love to check it out sometime. Anyway, those are my 5: Ghost of Yote, Outer Worlds 2, Slay the Spire 2, Mixtape, and Rematch. A couple others I want to pick up that I will debate bidding on.
Cool. All right, time for my last pick. And I know exactly how you felt now, Sterling, of suddenly being unsure the second you click the button. I've got two, and since it's my last pick, I'll go ahead and just like talk out loud about what they actually are. One of them is the DLC for Sea of Stars: Throes of the Watchmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be out this spring. Sea of Stars is an awesome game.
Such a beautiful game.
And I think this expansion is supposed to be like pretty meaty, a pretty big story expansion.
I would
Yeah.
hope so. It's been on
But
since the game came out.
yeah. And then the other one that I'm thinking of is 2XKO, which I believe is that like League of Legends fighting game. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I would go.
I know the
with
fighting
Sea of
game fans are. I'm thinking that as well, because that's going to be out in the spring almost for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
And,
leaning
like-
towards. Is the
And
Sea
like
of
that
Stars
game
one?
was so incredible. Surely the
Mhm.
DLC can't fuck it up that bad.
Doing it, locked in. All right, and then I'll go ahead and talk about the auto drafts. Dusty with Uncle Nintendo got Claire Obscura Expedition 33.
Nice.
I don't know what that means. I've
It's a
never heard those
turn-based
words put together before in my life. Okay. And then David with Cortana Innovations got Fable.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
We'll see if that actually comes out.
I
I don't think that game is coming.
low hopes
It's-
for Fable.
Cool. Billy's turn.
Yeah. Most of the games I wanted to do, I either got or got picked up. I'm between two. They're both smaller games, but ones I want to grab either way. I'm between. So last year I picked up Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time. I believe is the full title. And that game got
Yeah.
delayed to this year. And that was one that was really, really highly anticipated. So I'm between that one. There's also I could re-grab Mina the Hollower. I don't know what's going on at Yacht Club. I'm surprised that it got a delay at all. And then last, there's a 3D platformer coming out this year called Demon Tides.
Mario.
No, not that one. Demon
Mario.
Tides. It was from the same studio that did Demon Turf that did really well. And this game looks really vibrant and fun. So I've got some indies that I think could do very well. But I think I'm gonna go with Demon Tides. Because I think because Demon Turf did so well, I think Demon Tides will do kind of be a good surprise point total.
It's been published 1% of games.
What does that mean?
That's it means
1% of
only
people
1% of games have
Oh.
chosen this game.
I see.
or
That's not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah,
funny.
they just said release date 2025. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff. If you follow John Cartwright on Blue Sky, he's been posting a bunch of stuff about the game. So, it looks really, really good.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah. So there you go.
So, my next pick might suck. I don't know. I didn't like the last game in the franchise, but I think that the studio could learn. And so, yeah, there's not a whole lot left I can say about it other than I hope it comes out. I'm choosing Borderlands 4.
There you
I
go.
had a hunch
Nice.
feeling.
Oh, nice.
Borderlands 4 is like the developers said that they were going to try and like kind of mature up the humor a bit for this one,
Yeah.
which I think is
What I've heard.
very badly needed.
Yeah.
I'm tired of toilet humor in Borderlands. It's out overplayed. It was great
Iffy
when I was
from
playing
Dropout
Borderlands
is one of the
3.
writers.
Yeah, it's
What was
iffy.
that, Matt?
What away?
Yeah, he's one of the writers.
Yeah,
I think that after the movie and how poorly that did, and how much criticism Borderlands 3 got, I really think that they need to kind of really pull it together for Borderlands 4. So that's kind of what I'm hoping on.
Here's the thing, though, that I really like this pick because from a gameplay perspective, the Borderlands games are fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, there's someone.
I like the even I can handle some toilet humor here and there, but I think you're right. I think they've kind of stuck themselves in kind of a Xbox 360 era humor
Yeah.
for just a little too long, right? I think it just needs a little bit of not a complete revamp. I think they can still be immature and do all that, but I think there's a way to do it. But the
and
gameplay
Tiny
loop's
Tina's-
fantastic.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was pretty fun. too,
Yes,
the
I loved
D&D
that.
take.
Yeah.
I never finished it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I liked your description of Xbox 360 humor. That was good.
Yeah, it's smart.
it's I mean
a
it's
good
just
way of
what it
putting it.
is, right? It's not like if you play a 360 game, you're like, oh, Xbox 360 era, you were such a time. And you can kind of look at Borderlands 2 and 3, and you can look at it and kind of go, yeah, that's still kind of those people. And some people still like that, but I think a lot of newer fans are kind of, maybe even older fans are kind of ready for something new.
For sure.
From them, and I think they're capable. And I think having somebody like Iffy, who can say some of the most crass stuff I've ever heard on Dropout, can still make it really, really good. I think that's a great pick. And they know how to build a good looter shooter. Like the gameplay itself will be fun. I think it's a very good pick.
Unrelated flex, but one of my fight choreographers slash fight instructors that I've trained under is the mocap artist for Gearbox, specifically on the Borderlands franchise. And
Nice.
he,
That's sick.
in college, when Borderlands 3 was going to be announced, told us like probably 3 months in advance before it was even revealed.
That's crazy.
That's so cool.
He said he
That's
couldn't legally say
awesome.
what game it was, but that he was back in the studio with Gearbox, and the game that he was working on rhymed with, I think he said Schmorder Schmans or something like that.
Well, we
That's
sure knew
awesome.
it wasn't going to be Duke Nukem.
Yeah, sure.
Disagree.
It'll be another 20 years before we get another Duke Nukem.
Well, they have to announce it
Longer.
first and then wait. They have to announce it like now
Yeah.
and then pass it to 6 different studios until somebody finally just releases what they have. Like Gearbox did.
Yeah.
Anyway, what you
All
got?
right,
Our
Ian,
final pick.
final pick.
All right. I guarantee this one is not on y'all's radars. I would
Well,
be shocked if it
the-
is for any of y'all.
The other 3 of yours I have not been on my radar, so
Destiny
Yep.
4.
we're skipping 3.
No, actually,
Exactly.
I think either Codename or Apollo or Codename Frontiers, possibly both, are on the available list for this year. I do not have faith in either. They've fired too much of the team that made Destiny what it was and made Halo what it was. That at this point they're very rapidly not. It's not even slow anymore. They're very rapidly just being subsumed into Sony. Like Sony's taking the good people from them and having them work on their other games.
Like Concord 2. Anyway.
Yes, please. Perfect. Do a Final Fantasy 14 number.
Yeah, there we go.
This studio has had middling reception with their other 2 games. That being said, both of their games are very well known. Their games, overall, people consider them an underdog studio. The parts that they deliver in their games that are good are incredible. It's just that they've really needed time to grow as a studio, get more support perhaps from someone like Microsoft, and really, really focus on gameplay because they've got the story part and their puzzle aspects of their games very, very much down. You'll have the opportunity to learn more about this alongside Doom, The Dark Ages, and very, very likely Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm claiming it now. Next, the Xbox Developer Direct, January 23rd, I believe, is when it's going to be. The surprise game is going to be Silksong. Mark my words. You heard it here first.
That'd be sick.
But the other game that is announced that is for sure coming out this year that they are going to talk about on that stream is South of Midnight
Oh,
by Compulsion
That's a
Games,
good pick.
the creators of Contrast and more recently We Happy Few.
yep. Mm-hmm.
I almost drafted that too.
I think third time's the charm. I think they are going to have the right mix of puzzle, non-buggy gameplay, and of course story that is going to put them like really, really on the radar critically.
The movement that I've seen, like of clips, it looks really nice.
Their art style is always been very, very pleasant to the eye for me. I like that Art Deco inspiration that they have going on. I think there's enough reviewers that have rooted for them for the past two games too that a lot of them are going to be like really, really rooting for them this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
I
cool.
get to draft my counterpick too. Neat.
Now we do
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't like having the last counter pick.
Yeah, it's something.
that's tough. So in case you don't know how counter picks work, or for the audience, here's how this goes. Now we each go through and we pick a game off of someone else's publisher list that we don't think will perform very well.
Or come out.
Or come out, right. So if I were to pick a game, like let's say I pick Pokemon Legends ZA, just for example, that means that I think Pokemon Legends ZA will either not come out or score fairly low. For Fantasy Critic, you want it to be at a 70 or above to get points for your publisher. If you counterpick something and it gets positive reviews, you then lose that number of points in your own score. So, like, if you pick Indiana Jones and it gets like almost a 90, you then lose 17 points
But that
in
wouldn't
December.
Yeah,
of
That would never happen.
yeah, no, it never happened. No.
Yeah.
Ian, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I've taken quite a few of these into consideration. I think it is going to be a lot safer to run towards something that isn't going to release
Yes.
than bet on something failing.
But they're all on your list. I'm just kidding.
And Dusty's.
And Dusty's.
I
God.
feel bad locking Dusty out
Exactly.
of everything, though.
Correct. Dusty's. I'm picking Marvel's Wolverine.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
safe counter pick.
I
Same.
thought about Fable. I did think about Fable. However, I have the feeling that if
That
it is
it's
not
the
Silksong that is announced at the developer direct, it's going to be fucking Fable because
I
of
think
course they would.
personally that it is going to be the next Tim Schafer game. I forget the name of the company. Because the developer _ direct is all about the developers talking about their games, and we don't really hear much from Team Cherry talking about stuff. And but Tim Schafer and his studio are very open, very public. I'm sure they would absolutely be down to do a deep dive into whatever it is they're doing next. So I think it's Tim Schafer release, but
Fair
anyway.
enough.
I would be blown away if it was Fable, if we see Fable or Hollow Knight this month. How
That would
long
be
has it been
crazy.
since Fable was announced?
Double Fine, that's the name. I can't believe I forgot that.
2020. Is it really been since 2020?
Wow.
That game
Yeah.
does not exist. There's no way.
That we last heard about Silksong?
Fable.
Oh.
And all we got was a splash screen. That was the
With-
same year that we all got a bunch
Well,
of
we had,
random.
No, we had like a. We had the thing with Richard Ayoade.
I don't remember. That was that
Like,
same year where we got
Oh
like
yeah.
a
Oh, yeah,
million
too.
splash screen trailers. I think that was the same year we saw Elder Scrolls 6.
I think you're right, Billy.
2023, the Xbox Game Showcase had a cinematic trailer with Richard Ayoade playing a giant.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like he's facial scanned. It's literally just Richard Ayoade. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Elder Scrolls 6 was 2018.
Dude,
That's crazy.
Anyway,
I'm
Yeah.
so mad at Bethesda for doing that.
I mean, I think we all are. They did the same crap with Starfield, and look how that turned out.
Exactly.
Anyway. Yeah, I think counterpicking Marvel's Wolverine is safe.
That's a good counterpick.
Jacob, which of Ian's games are you counterpicking?
None of them. None of them. In fact, you guys almost convinced me to pick Fable, but I think I have a game in mind that I believe is even less likely to come out this year. And that game is Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh,
That game,
That's a good
That's
pick.
a bold choice.
it says
It is a-
late
it's-
2025, and that
Mhm.
game's not coming out this year. That game is getting delayed.
Does
That game is getting delayed to Q2 2026.
you're losing a minimum of 15 points if it comes out this year.
That's fine.
As
That's why-
someone who that happened to, no, it's not.
That game is not coming out.
Well, Jacob does also
It's
have to
not
draft
coming out.
another 5 games at some point this year to be in contention, and so like we'll see if that happens.
Right.
It may.
Might be the first negative score.
Hey, I'm already ahead because I didn't auto draft this time.
True.
now I'm looking. If a game releases and does bad enough on a counterpick, do you gain points?
Yes.
Yes.
If it gets below a 70.
Okay.
That game isn't coming out this time. I'm telling you.
I
cannot wait for it to come out and I get.
well,
fucking
that's
ready.
what I'm wondering. Well, here's the thing too. So we have it set that again when a game becomes counterpicked, you can't drop it. So now Dusty's locked
Right.
into 2 games. They will not be able to
And
counter.
that's what I'm worried about. I don't want to bully Dusty and like counterpick all of his games.
Yeah. Man, that's interesting. Because I could do something safe. Like Persona 6 would be incredibly safe. But that's a net 0. And I'm trying to wonder if there is a game on here that could do poor enough to earn me points.
Yes,
I
I think I have one. Hopefully,
I think there is possibly as well.
I
I think there is too.
think there's a couple that could.
I honestly don't even. I can't think of one.
I'm trying to decide if it's worth the gamble. Like that's really
we're
where I'm
looking
at.
at 2 right next to each other right now. So
We might be looking at the same ones. Man. Do I want 0 or the potential? You know, I'm gonna go big and see if I get something out of it. I am going to be counterpicking Assassin's Creed Shadows.
damn it.
Okay.
Yep, that was gonna be my pick.
I thought you were gonna do Borderlands.
I thought about it, but again, I think the Borderlands has enough of a good gameplay loop as a whole that I think they'll at least get enough points to earn you something. I think Assassin's Creed
fair.
Shadows has the potential to be bad enough to earn me points, only because there's so many Assassin's Creed games out there that even if it's more of the same, it might end up being reviewed poorly. And with a lot of unwarranted controversy around the game, if it's handled poorly, that could earn me some points.
Yeah.
Again, it's not typically like a lot of our points come from Metacritic, and so it just kind of depends on how the reviewers are feeling. Most of them judge purely on the actual game experience. I think Assassin's Creed Shadow.
Mo-
This could ruin me. This has a wide range of things it could be, and I think it's more interesting. So I'm going with that.
So the auto draft people, Dusty counterpicked Fable,
Nice.
and then David counterpicked Persona 6.
Yep.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
which in my opinion is Persona 6 is the safest counter pick in this list. In my
Yeah, I'm
opinion.
kind of jealous. That's what I was gonna go for. All right, second to last counter pick is rough.
Yeah.
So I've got to go through. So one thing I'm also considering is if a game will be a big enough release to even get reviews.
That's true.
Yep. I'm looking at 2 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So based off of that, I think I'm gonna counterpick Demon Tides.
Yeah. I think it's a safe pick in that regard.
But again, there really aren't that many good counter picks anymore. So
No, I think it's like
Really not.
as the ones like to pick from. I think the idea that it might not get enough reviews, I think, is a fairly fair assessment. Just depends on how many people liked Demon Turf enough to want to start looking at this for reviews. And if it shows up in a Nintendo Direct, I think will really be the kicker.
well, you're stuck with it now, Billy. So there you
That's
go.
fine. I'm excited for this game. Even if it does poorly on here, I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it.
I'm in a really, really bad position.
It's rough, man.
And you can't change your counter pick once it's picked, right?
No.
Yep.
That one's
Correct. So you're locked into Persona 6.
Well, Marvel's World War
If
is what
anything's
I mean.
counterpicked,
what
you
they mean.
can't drop it, and you cannot change your
Correct.
counterpick.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yes.
Who has this game? I want to make sure. No, I don't want to bully Dusty anymore.
I still
That was
think there's
awesome.
a pretty I still think there's a pretty good one there.
I think there's a few. So I guess I can be frank about it.
Yeah. Can't change anything.
So the thing with Dusty that I want to pick is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That game just looks strange.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Night Rain's too strong of a choice. It's like it could go very well. Silk Song is too risky because I am fairly bullish that it will come out this year.
Not coming out.
It has to.
But if
It has
does,
to.
I
if
was
it
so
does,
paranoid.
Oh yeah, you'd
at
be
December.
screwed.
I'm fucked if it comes out this year.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So let me start from the top. Avowed's gonna be great. Borderlands 4 could be bad. Probably is gonna get at least a 70.
Mhm.
Claire Obscure, don't know anything about it. Date Everything either won't get reviewed enough or will hit 70. Death Stranding 2, Death Stranding 1 got an 80. It could get delayed. I doubt it. Doom the Dark Ages, it's Doom. It'll be fine. Dragon Quest 1 and 2, those games will review well. Elden Ring is Elden Ring. Silk Song is Silk Song. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I don't know anything about this game.
It's tough to say.
It's got a decent like hype factor behind it, I think.
Yeah,
It was
it's-
in
I was
like
gonna say that too.
it was in like the 40s, I think,
probably
maybe.
a bad choice.
Yeah, it got a announcement trailer fairly recently that looked decent.
Yakuza is going to do well. at least a 70.
Mm.
Mario Kart, I have faith that that's going to come out this year. Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
is going to do well. Metroid Prime is going to do well. Monster Hunter Wilds is going to do well. Mounts PI for Hire, I'm iffy on.
Because it might
I'm
not
pretty sure
review.
it's going to come out this year. And it is an Xbox published title.
Oh.
I imagine it's going to get at least a 70. Pokemon Legends, probably at least a 70. Resident Evil 9, that's another one. I
Yeah.
could see it coming out this year. Sea of Stars, gonna be great. Civ 7, gonna be great. South of Midnight, gonna be great. Split Fiction, gonna be great. Mario platformer, if it comes out this year, will be great. That's kind of the one I'm leaning towards, though. Xenoblade Chronicles, gonna be great. All of these are gonna be good.
Yeah, you're in a really terrible spot as far as counter picks.
So,
but you can also
I'm
think
leaning
about
towards-
which one would mitigate the most damage.
that's
Exactly. So
Who's
Um,
gonna
even if it
ride a
gets above
70?
a 70,
Yeah.
yep.
well, fuck yeah. I haven't thought about it like that.
Because can we see how last year's games did? Because like Sea of Stars, I enjoyed my time with it. I still haven't finished it, but like the conversation around Sea of Stars has kind of gone a little negative.
Really?
Since the game's
Doesn't-
released,
That surprises me.
it's gotten a lot. I don't know if it's like expansion will drop below 70, but people talk about the overall story was kind of meh. The two main characters weren't super fun to interact with because you can choose either or. They didn't really give them much of a personality. The combat stays kind of the same throughout the whole game with not a lot of extra options, like not a a big skill tree per se or skill options.
That's just JRPGs.
That's not true. Like you look at like even Pokemon has more options than Sea of Stars does. Because there's like Sea of Stars only has like 3 skills and then like regular basic attack. It's all about like the Mario RPG style combat, which people get tired of because it's not Mario. So like that's just where the Discord or the conversation has kind of been surrounding Sea of Stars recently. It's a gorgeous game with great music. But that conversation has kind of shifted since it released.
Has
So
an 87 on Metacritic.
who knows how much the
I
expansion
can
will
also
do.
see percent counterpicked, and I might literally just pick the game that has the highest percent counterpicked on the website. But I have to click.
That's not a bad idea.
Ooh, what is the
12.5.
most
About has
counterpicked?
12%. Fable has already been picked. RE9 has a 37%, which is currently the highest. But I don't want to bully Dusty anymore.
Do it. William.
Although that was one he intentionally did pick, so like,
Yeah.
you know.
And some of the games that have been counterpicked, like highly, are crazy.
Dave Everything has a 32% counterpick rate. But that's also like it's only been 22% published, so it's like that's not a high counterpick rate considering how little it's been published.
Yeah, some of these are
Mhm.
crazy. Like new BioShock game.
Borderlands 4 has a 36% counterpick rate.
Unannounced Sly Cooper game I saw, and I was like, "Be so for real."
That would be
I would
Wouldn't it-
cry.
Wouldn't that be great?
People are
Silk
picking
Song has a
Sure would.
30%
Project
That'd be
Century. People think this new RGG game's coming out this year.
All right, so I'm torn between based on numbers. Hollow Knight Silksong has been published 81% and is counterpicked about 38%.
That's pretty high.
So I think I'm gonna. I counterpicked Silksong last year. I'm fairly certain.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's right. You made
That's
a big
funny.
deal about it.
but you're right.
I was
If it does
Constantly paranoid.
if it does happen to come out, you are screwed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing with that one is last year it came out in that Xbox showcase that was like all of these games will be out within the year or within a year. And it didn't, but it must mean it's close.
Worst case scenario, though, you get to play Hollow Knight Silksong when it comes out.
I mean, the first one. I
You
have
haven't played
seen
the first
people use
one?
that logic with counter picks. It's like on one hand I'm fucked in fantasy draft, on the other hand I get to play a game.
You get to play the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
Blessing said that on Kind of Funny. That's where I got it from.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards Borderlands still. I think
Mm.
Borderlands would
I think
hurt
that's a good
less.
idea.
Borderlands would hurt less than Silksong.
Yeah.
Borderlands is
Borderlands
more guaranteed to come out this year. Let me do one last Google real quick.
Yeah, do it. I'm chilling.
The game is set to be released in 2025. There is no release date. I don't think.
No.
Borderlands 4 official first look a month ago. Was this during the Game Awards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It
did they
could
say
not.
2025 at the end of the trailer? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Gearbox Software has confirmed that Borderlands 4 will be released in 2025, although the developer stopped short of putting a firm date on it. Although we do know it will also, this was Games Radar, although we do know it will also be in, quote, during Take-Two's fiscal year 2026, so expect it to launch in fall.
Guys, I'm not happy with you.
Well,
You need to draft more shitty games.
well, there's
I
plenty
still
to
think
pick
there's
from.
one
Some
where
of
the
us
numbers
already-
are on your side.
It would be great if you said it. I mean, I'm not looking at Dusty's. I just like I'm not locking him out of 3 games. I don't care about playing the game to that extent.
That's
you know?
fair, yeah.
That feels mean.
Yeah. Doom: The Dark Ages could be bad.
True, we are
Daytime
we are
Game.
coming off probably a Mick Gordon split. I would assume so.
Yeah.
I don't know that that will affect much of the score, but
Death Stranding 2 also could be delayed
Or bad.
or bad.
That seems less likely.
Well, how did the
honestly.
first game do? I remember everybody memed the hell out of the first
It got at
game.
least an 80.
I think you got like an
And,
80%.
Hideo Kojima, like
got an
the
80.
people who are going to review a Hideo Kojima game are asking to review the Hideo Kojima game.
Gotcha.
But also, like, people understand the way, like, what that game is now.
Yeah,
I feel like the director's cut was much more well received than the original release.
yeah, that's true.
You see, it's the second Strand type game. So
Surely we've had
bound to be
another
better.
Strand type game.
Behind
since-
Destiny 2? There was Strand in that.
Man.
That was a good one. I appreciate it. Fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. This is impossible.
You're good. I'm having fun, like, talking about these games because I think it's fascinating
Yeah.
to think about.
Ian's not.
Well, no.
Well, I'm ready to talk about it after you pick your final one.
The counterpick percentage on Death Stranding 2 is far too low from people who are smarter than me, I am sure.
Have you seen the internet?
It's a pretty strong
True.
assumption, yeah.
True.
People also think a Sly Cooper game is coming out this year.
There was another one in the unreleased that was just absolutely ridiculous. I can't remember what it was though.
I've seen a few. I saw BioShock,
Crash, Bandicoot.
Crash. Yeah, basically every deceased franchise is somewhere on here.
You know
The
what?
next Zelda game is coming out next year.
Oh God.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2, not Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild. But it's specifically Breath of the Wild 2. It's a new game in Breath of the Wild.
You get
terms
2
of
horses
public
now.
impact, if like
I'm sorry.
game's definitely coming out, but it's not gonna hurt me too bad. The 2 I am torn between are Mouse and Date Everything.
You did everything's gonna be great.
It's-
I still don't think it's gonna get enough full reviews.
Oh, it
I don't know
absolutely is.
I think so too.
with a
I-
voice
It is.
cast that
Yeah,
stacked
exact-
and coming out on Switch.
Are they going to get paid enough to tweet about it? You know.
Yes.
And then Borderlands 4. I think Silksong is a strong choice for 0 points. Mouse PI for hire is a strong choice for guaranteed only losing a couple points.
I don't know, man. I think Mouse PI looks good.
Yeah.
I need you to stop.
But-
I need you to stop.
But Sterling's at a point where he just has to. He's in damage mitigation. He doesn't get to pick anything safe. So the
I mean,
thing
I do. I could just pick Resident Evil 9.
you could, but I think
That's
there's a
valid.
very decent chance that it could happen.
What if I said fuck you to FromSoft and picked Elden Ring?
I think you'd be screwed.
Do it.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be silly.
Do I just flip a coin?
So Resident Evil Village came out 2021. And then
when was it?
Reverse came out 2022. And then Resident Evil 4 Remake was 2023.
Okay.
So to put
So
that in
nothing last year?
perspective, Resident Evil 7 came out in 2017. So there was a 4-year gap between that and Village, which puts us at a 4-year gap between Village and now. Not that that means anything technically. 6 had a 5-year gap before 7, but everybody hated 6, so who knows? And then back at that point, we're back when games came out every 2 to 3 years because they were smaller.
I think you should counter for Ghost of Yotei.
Your own game.
Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah, take my
Or
own
Monster Hunter.
But
Yeah.
you're guaranteed 0 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
0 point total.
Guys,
Man.
Exactly.
Guys, I'm gonna do it. I'm
Okay.
picking Silksong.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I can't wait for this game to come out. It has to
Yeah.
come out now.
The draft is complete.
I am so unlucky. I'm so crazy unlucky that I am doing you all a favor by picking Silksong.
So you're willing into the universe? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Awesome.
service.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'll say the one that I was thinking of was South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Despite
Yeah.
the goodwill that Compulsion has in them being underdogs, and I do think that this one is going to be really good. Statistically, like the statistics for their previous 2 games are not on my side.
I see.
Contrast has an open critic score of 60. We Happy Few, despite its like popularity with YouTubers at the time and the general goodwill that people got from them from that game,
Uh-huh.
63.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
That's surprising because I remember We Happy Few very fondly, and
Yeah.
so that's why I didn't look at South of Midnight at all as an option.
So yeah, statistics are not on my side, but people have really, really been rooting for this studio for a really, really, really long time, and more than anything, they just needed more time to polish than anything. So if the game is good, it's going to be really, really good. If not, and it turns out to be more like what they've released before, it's probably going to be buggy on launch and get tanked for that, eventually improve and become beloved by the masses in the way that their games in the past have done. Because I think Contrast is now considered to be like an underrated gem of its era.
I you know, if Silksong comes out, I'm putting the biggest fucking asterisk possible. Because
Hey, here's the thing,
When
though.
Silk Song comes
having
out.
Snake Draft make me go last on counterpicking is infuriating.
Yeah. So I do want to point out, I know it's getting late, or it is late for all of us, but I do kind of want to talk real quick. So we do have projected points already, and I think they're very fascinating.
Oh,
so-
I didn't even notice that.
So projected first place by like a lot is Dave, Cortana Innovations,
Yeah.
with a projected 93.1 points based on what we have right now. I want to remind people of that caveat. If a game, unless it's counterpicked, if a game is not coming out this year and it's announced that way, we can drop it and add new stuff. We also have 5 slots where we can bid on games throughout the year to add games to our total as the year goes on, because people are gonna shadow drop things and new games are gonna get released before the end of the year. So by like a huge amount, as far as projected points, Dave is up in first with 93.1. Matt in second place with
Not
87.01.
again.
For yours. And then a 12-point difference for third, with me at 75, and then the rest kind of filter in down in like the mid 60s, which I think is fascinating at the start of this. So
I'm in third to last, which is my rightful position.
Should we all go through real quick and just read off what our lists are and then call it a night?
Sure.
It's a great idea.
Cool. Sterling's first.
Yeah. This extremely strong lineup of Ghost of Yote, Outer Worlds 2, Slay the Spire 2, Mixtape, and Rematch. I'm fairly confident in those 5. At least getting me a few points. And then Silk Song for the counter pick. Lord fucking knows how it's gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a strong
Alright,
list overall.
Yeah, it is a very strong list. Absolutely. All right, mine for Cascara Creative is Monster Hunter Wilds, the so far unannounced next Mario Kart game, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and Sea of Stars Throes of the Watchmaker. I'll go ahead and do the counter picks too. Dusty Daddy for Uncle Nintendo, GTA 6, the unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer, the unannounced Resident Evil 9, the unannounced Marvel's Wolverine, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Also,
David
Matt,
yeah.
you are counterpicking Demon Tides. I don't think you said that earlier. Off of my
I'm
list.
sorry, you're right. Thank you. Yes, I counterpicked Demon Tides off of Billy's list. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Dusty is counterpicking
David.
Fable.
Yes.
Off of.
Sorry, those are way below the rest of the list.
Yes, they are. They're at the very bottom. Yeah, you're good.
Yep. So for Cortana Innovations from David, he has Elden Ring Night Rain, Doom the Dark Ages, Avowed, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Fable, and he counterpicked Persona 6, which is unannounced.
Yeah, very safe, free counterpick. My auto counterpick last year gave me Dragon Age. So for mine, Game Goat Studios, I picked Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, and Demon Tides. And I have counterpicked Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That Like a Dragon game title was crazy.
It's hilarious. It's better than Like a Dragon, the Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yeah.
So
my list is I've got Sid Meier's Civilization 7. I have Split Fiction, Date Everything! Exclamation point. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is going to be great, and Billy's going to be very sad.
Probably.
And Borderlands 4, which also is going to be like the best game that's ever been made. So
I like this list a lot.
I do too.
Thank you.
With
And then I counterpicked the definitely not coming out this year Grand Theft Auto. 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's
better
not-
freaking hope.
It's not happening.
How exciting. All right, and
The
I'm
reigning champ.
Yep, at the top of the mountain currently. I figure I want to enjoy the view for a little while before I get horse glitched off of High Hrothgar. Because somebody else by the end of the year is going to take this spot from me. So I might as well use my crown for good and try and get some good things released for y'all. So first we got Mouse PI for Hire. I think that comes out. Well, I know it comes out at some point this year, but I think they're going to shoot for earlier rather than later. Very excited for this game, rooting for it. Next, we've got Silksong. Again, complete heel turn from last year. I just honestly couldn't deal with the paranoia second time. Bless Sterling for picking it because I was losing it at the Game Awards. I was not
You
even
were
watching the Game
fucking
Awards. I was with my girlfriend and I was checking Twitter every like 30 seconds. She was very very worried about me until I explained what was going on. Then she laughed at me a little bit, which is very understandable. But after the Game Awards, I was like, okay, there's no way. So best of luck, Sterling. It's any announcement for the rest of the year. Silksong fans, they're gonna get to you. You should really curate your online spaces.
Oh, I'm blue skying it up right now.
It's very Scottish play territory. Persona 6 is before or after Death Stranding, so let's go back and circle that one. I think it's coming out. It was in the state of play last year. I think I'm fairly confident it's coming out, and
That seems safe for me too.
yeah, I think it's going to be really good. The first one was eventually really good once people understood what Kojima was going for. And with the themes of that one versus what has happened in the real world since then, I think that one's really going to resonate with people. And what more can I say? Hideo Kojima. Persona 6. That one is honestly the cope of this year. I picked that damn well knowing that, but I had such a fantastic time with Reload, which I still need to finish and also need to play the second half of it now that the expansion is out, because I've also not done that. Not done the answer yet, unfortunately. Need to get to it as soon as possible. Can't get enough of it. I have the Persona 3 Reload 4-disc vinyl from IM8-bit over on my television right now being displayed.
That's such a good game.
Really, yeah. I'm excited to try 4 and 5 someday, but I might as well jump into 6 before going back to those two if it's out this year. And then South of Midnight, been rooting for Compulsion for a really long time. I'm thinking third time's going to be the charm for them. They have a lot of really goodwill from Contrast, and we happy few despite the initial critic responses. And with Xbox backing them, I think they're going to see a lot more success this time. We'll know for sure next week, or 10 days from now, rather, whenever they are in Xbox's developer direct, along with either Fable or Silksong.
There we go.
Hooray!
Cool.
Not happy about.
We did it.
I would say I'm. These lists are quite a bit more competitive than last year's, and I'm very excited about that. But also like I just like having a little bit of stake in each game review as it comes out. It's just kind of fun to kind of see and watch our little Discord pop off when games get released. So
Oh yeah. All right.
well,
Time to crash, I think.
yeah. So that's gonna be
Yep,
that.
first day of school tomorrow, since
Woo!
last week blew my original first week of school to hell.
Yeah, felt. But thank
So
you
we're done.
guys for joining us in either Twitch chat or YouTube chat. Just a couple things before we log off today. It is 2025, new year, same us, different stuff. But we've got a lot of stuff kind of planned for you guys throughout this year. We obviously have our podcasts, Games Parlay. Hopefully, we'll get some stuff kind of going on that. Otaku, we have some old episodes for you to watch, to listen to, and I'm sure we're going to get back to recording some of that stuff here soon.
Soon.
It's just been life and holidays and blah blah blah. You get it by now. Streams hopefully going to be coming back pretty regularly. As part of this, we know we want to do some more archipelago runs, and continue showing that off. And there's a lot of cool games getting added to do, and we just want to be more present in the space. So if you enjoyed this discussion, please consider giving us a like, follow, whatever platform you're on, those kinds of things. Follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram, so you can kind of keep up with all the goings on here at Up Download. And we're excited to have you guys join us in 2025. Did I get everything? I think it's it. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds great.
Neat.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
And we'll
Have a
catch you
great
next
night,
time.
yo.